Good evening and welcome to the Spalding Board of Commissioners July 21st Extraordinary Meeting. I would like you to all please silence your cell phones and all other electronic devices. At this time, I'd ask Commissioner Reginald Watts from District 3 to deliver the invocation. Thank you. And Commissioner Ryan Bolden from District 4 to lead us in the Pledge to the Flag.
Let us pray. It is in the powerful name of Jesus, Lord, we just want to thank you, Lord. Lord, we want to thank you for your presence and, Lord, just being here today. And, Lord, right now we just ask that you let us decrease as you increase, Lord, as we make decisions on behalf of your people. It is in Jesus' name your people have prayed. Amen, amen, and amen.
I'd like to ask Commissioner Dutton,
Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda this evening to add two items. Would be to add part to the presentation section. Ms. Nicole Green to share with the board about mental health concerns that will support our efforts through the Behavioral Mental Health Committee. This board stood up a few meetings ago, and I would like to for us to add a presentation from Public Works to share their latest accomplishments with the county as well.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Erica Dye to provide a presentation of the Spalding County's financial statements for May 2025. Deputy. For those of you who don't know, that's our CFO and also dual-hatted as the Deputy County Manager. Ms. Dye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next slide, please. The upcoming presentation that I'm about to present will summarize the county's financial activities for fiscal year 2025 as of June 30th, covering our revenue collections, expenditures, and encumbrances for the general fund and the fire fund budgets. 12 months have passed in the entire fiscal year, which accounts for 100% of the budget. Fiscal year 2025 shows strong financial performance with revenue steadily increasing to about $70.7 million in June of 2025. By June 30th, our revenues have increased by 4%. Next slide. From July 2024 to June 2025, expenditures rose steadily from $5.5 million to $66.5 million, with an average monthly growth rate of 32.6%. The sharpest increase occurred in the early months, particularly in August through October. Our expenditures have risen by 7%. Next slide, please. From July 2024 to June 2025, the financial data highlights several encouraging trends. Revenue demonstrated strong potential with substantial surges in December and January, reaching a peak of $26.17 million, largely driven by the collection of property tax revenues. Expenditures followed a consistent and predictable growth rate, rising from $5.46 million in July to $66.5 million in June. Meanwhile, the operating account balance remained resilient, experiencing a noticeable boost in February and maintaining a healthy level by the end of June. These patterns reflect the county's strong financial stability and effective management of its fiscal position throughout the period. Next slide, please. For fire district revenues, as of the end of June 2025, they have generated $10.7 million, which constitutes 113% of the budget, and the expenditures are at $15.8 million, with encumbrances at $6.6 million, which constitutes 91% of the budget. Next slide. This chart shows cumulative revenues and expenditures over fiscal year 25, indicating a steady increase in both. As of the end of June, our revenues are slightly higher than expenditures, which is a positive sign for the county's financial health. I want to address on this chart, you will notice a delta between the beginning and the year-end bank balances in the general fund. While it may appear a surplus at first glance, it's important to understand that these funds are not fully available for discretionary use. A significant portion is already committed to outstanding encumbrances, including the Heritage Park Gym and the renovation of Jan's. These obligations will be paid out in the upcoming fiscal period. Next slide, please. For our revenues, the county has collected $57 million in taxes, representing 80.5% of the total revenue. These taxes include real property tax, both current and previous years, interest and penalties on real and personal property, public utility tax, motor vehicle tax, ad valorem tax, tax and title fees for personal property, our local option sales tax, alcohol tax, business occupation tax, and other sources. For charges for services, the county collected $5.1 million, which accounts for 7.3% of the total. This amount includes various fees from probate and magistrate courts, adult probation and supervision fees, inmate housing costs, medical and clothing reimbursements for both the CI and the Sheriff's Office, as well as revenue from animal control, recreation fees, scrap iron sales, and recording fees. Intergovernmental revenues totaled $3.3 million, comprising 4.8% of total reported revenues. These revenues are from local and state federal sources, including the real estate transfer tax, the Georgia Highway Safety and COPS grant, our Performance Partnership Award, VOCA grants, and Accountability Court grants, and also GDOT reimbursements and Boost grant. Fines and forfeitures generated $1.9 million, or 2.7% of the total, from Superior, State, Magistrate, Clerk of Court fees, victim assistance, drug abuse court fines. Miscellaneous revenue is at $1.9 million, or 2.7%, including income from resource officers, CI and Sheriff's Office inmate phone commissions, inmate store commissions, our CI detail reimbursement, motor coach trips, sale of our surplus property and equipment, and also spay and neuter fees. For license and permits, which includes our business, alcohol, building, sewer inspections, zoning, subdivision, marriage, and pistol license and permits, accounts for $1 million, or 1.5%. Investment income accounts for $263,000 in revenue. And finally, our contributions and donations account for $33,000. Next slide, please. For our expenditures, employees' salary and benefits account for 55.9%, or $37.1 million of total expenditures for FY25. The expenditures for purchases and contractual services, which includes radio and computer equipment, software, office equipment maintenance, travel expenses, legal fees, dues and subscriptions, and education, election expenses, and auto and truck maintenance account to 26.6%, or $17.7 million. Supplies, which include our departmental supplies, utilities, uniforms, fuel, and small equipment, account for 7.8%, or $5.1 million of total expenditures. Capital outlay accounts for 5.1%, or $3.3 million, which includes the supplies and materials for our playgrounds, our walking trail, the master park plan, some vehicles for public works and parks and recs, and also some machinery and equipment. Other cost is $2.1 million, or 3.2% of the total expenditures. This includes various park repairs and supply reimbursements for T-Sploss, paving and sidewalk reimbursements, the Cigna Flex spending account, street lights, the Griffin Spalding Development Authority, the Griffin Spalding Archives, Health Department, and also the library. For debt service, which includes our enterprise vehicles principal and interest and other capital lease principal and interest, accounts for 1.5% of budget, or $978,000. Next slide, please. And lastly, the bank balances as of June 30th, 2025. The Truist Bank operating account demonstrated strong financial resilience and effective cash flow management throughout the reporting period from July 2024 to June 2025. Beginning with a healthy balance in July, the account experienced expected fluctuations aligned with the county's revenue and expenditure cycles. Despite a gradual decline through the fall months, the account maintained stability, reaching $13.5 million by December. A significant rebound occurred in 2025, with a balance more than doubling to 24.5, followed by a peak of 45.8 million in February. This increase reflects the successful collection of property tax revenues and prudent financial oversight. The accounts continue to perform well through the spring, maintaining a strong bank balance of $33.6 million by the end of June. Overall, the data reflects a well-managed operating account with strategic timing of revenue inflows and controlled expenses, contributing to a consistently strong financial position as of June 30th. The total balance of $61.5 million across all checking and investment accounts in Spalding County reflects the cumulative financial assets held by the county. And thank you. This concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to try to answer any of your questions.
Motion to accept the presentation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd ask Ms. Nicole Green to provide information to the Board of Commissioners this evening concerning the mental health issues ongoing in our community. The board has agreed to provide time for us to share with her this evening, as later we will appoint members to the Behavioral Mental Health Committee chaired by Commissioner Gwen Flowers-Taylor. Ms. Green.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity and for providing this space for me to share the information. This is something that is very near.
Can you all hear her?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Raise the mic up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying thank you for this opportunity. This is definitely something that is near and dear to my heart, and definitely something that needs to be addressed in our county. My name is Nicole, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. And what that means is it's been over 22 years since drugs and alcohol controlled my life. What that means is, you know, for me, it's more than just being in recovery. It's about I have a chance. I was given the opportunity to rebuild my life. And this is the very community where I wreaked havoc in my addiction. So today I'm standing before you as a productive member of society that's really trying to make a change. So when I say that I appreciate being up here, it means a whole lot more than you all understand. I speak openly about my recovery because too many people stay silent. Too many people are stuck in the cycle of survival, not because they don't want help, but because they don't have anywhere safe to go. And let's not forget about the stigma, right, that is attached to addiction. A safe place means more than four walls. It means peer support, access to childcare for families, trauma-informed counseling, and real tools to rebuild. Today I'm healing out loud, but my story alone isn't enough. Did you know that women between the ages of 25 and 44, prime childbearing years, have the highest ER overdose rates in Georgia? Hospital visits. That our youth in Region 6, which includes Spalding County, 1 out of 5 reports struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts. This is over a third of our children live in single-parent homes, often with mothers who are fighting silent battles without support. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here, to give them an option, to bring recovery out of the shadows and ask, what kind of legacy do we want to leave in Spalding County? You can go to the slide. So here's the reality that we face. Right now, fentanyl and fentanyl poisoning are the leading cause of death among adults 18 to 44. surpassing all other causes of death, including car accident, suicide, and disease. Region 6, as I mentioned, includes Spalding County, has the highest overdose and mental health crisis. Our youth are increasingly impacted by overdose and mental health emergencies. Pregnant women fall short on so many levels. There aren't any or very little recovery options here in our county and the surrounding counties. And dispatch calls, have surged, and our law enforcement, hospitals, all of these places that are providing support are overburdened. So with that, you can go to number 1. So path number was two paths with one mission. So here are some of the gaps that we have, and it's not just in Spalding County, right? This is a gap around everywhere, in Georgia. And so here are some of the gaps that we're missing. The things that we're missing is residential recovery programs for pregnant women and postpartum women, or women with children, full-time peer-led recovery centers that are open to the general public. What we don't have is youth recovery supports. We have NA, we have AA, we have Al-Anon, we have Celebrate Recovery, but what do we have for our teenagers? Where do they go? So that's a very apparent gap. And then, of course, something after hours. Our crises do not happen between 9 and 5. And I can't schedule my crisis, right? If I have to go somewhere, I can't say, I feel something coming on, can I make an appointment, right? It's usually not the way that it works. And then, of course, we have our transportation barriers, if you can go to the next slide. So why this matters, and here's some statistics around low birth weights. As I mentioned, our ER visits, our foster care removals are rising due to parental addiction. And this is, on both sides. This is not just the moms, right? Because we do have two-parent households where both parents are struggling with addiction. And then, of course, the aftermath of that is the babies are taken, bonding is disrupted. That's a whole nother issue of trauma that I won't get into right now. And just, for data sakes, right now in Georgia, we have 11,000 children that are in foster care. And although the data doesn't reflect how many are specifically because of substance use, if you look at the ages and if you look at the childbearing ages, you can kind of see where those things overlap. If you can go to the next slide, please. So here's what we're proposing, and we've identified a piece of property, and what this looks like is a residential recovery program for women. And some of the things that we want to provide, it would be a housing unit that focuses on the pregnant and postpartum women, helping with reunification, family preservation, on-site peer support, other mamas. If there's any mamas in the house, postpartum by itself is hard. So you put addiction on top of that, you have a really big problem. So being able to help these women, these mothers, these women that are in postpartum during that critical time and not take away from that bonding period. There's a lot of women that have their children removed at the hospital. They don't have the opportunity. So this is what we're proposing. Here are some of our partners. Some, DFACS, of course. Operation MIST is a prenatal organization, a nonprofit that helps with prenatal care. She uses smartwatches to monitor contractions and all the things that go along with that. And so I don't want to do her program a disservice, but she's awesome, right? And then, of course, we have McIntosh Trail and Pathways and Southside Medical. And these are our community partners. These are people that are already in the community that can assist in this effort. Can you go to the next slide? Path number 2 is the Spalding Grow Center. And what GROW stands for is Griffin Recovery Outreach and Wellness. And this is a drop-in center for our youth and people that are in recovery or seeking recovery, somewhere for them to go. And it would be open in the evenings and on the weekends to meet people at those critical times. Our high school students, having things in place for them where they can have those support groups, where they can feel heard amongst their peers. Because as adults, they don't always hear us. I've got teenage grandchildren, and they don't always hear what I have to say, but when their friend says it, it makes a whole lot of sense. It's like, dang, I just said that. So, really meeting people where they're at, and then having a component with childcare, so the women and the fathers, because we have single fathers too, right? A place for the kids to be while the parent gets well. We always have to like fragment the services. Like the mama has to go over here for treatment. The babies go over here and stay with the family. If there's family available that will step in and meet that need, right? And then, we do have, I'm not duplicating anything. We do have services in the community. I will, I'm not downplaying what we have, but we don't have enough. And we don't have services to address our youth. And our youth that's the next generation. They're the ones that got to take care of us. Like, I want them to be right, because, you know what I'm saying? So just being proactive, catching it now before it's too late, and then we're overburdening our judicial system and all the things that go. We all know how it works. It's a domino effect. If you could go to the next slide. And this is the part where I was talking about for the youth, right? Recovery education, youth engagement nights, teen peer discussion circles, mental health resiliency support. Sometimes our teenagers don't even know, a lot of times, they don't even know why they act the way they act, right? And with social media and all the things that they have to compete with and the pressures, having a space like this, and everybody's not going to come and everybody's not going to be willing. But there's a lot of kids that will. There's a lot of children that wish, youth that wish they had a place to go that doesn't require a fee or a membership or, some type of a way to get there, to be able to be a part of that. Can you go to the next slide, please? So this is what we're asking. This is a community effort, right? We're going to need special zoning. We need a property for the growth center, the Grow Center. County-wide inclusion on the opioid and mental health planning, which Mr. Davis just talked about, right? And I'm all for it. Support for the Future Women's Program, and actively pushing. I've written several grants. Like, I'm not standing up here with a plan without action. Like, I've written several grants, and, if it's God's will, we'll get them, but I'm doing the footwork, but I can't do it alone, and I understand, as a mom who struggled with addiction with 4 kids and a single parent, like, I remember what that looked like. It was not easy. So this is what we're asking, and we can sit down and, talk about this a little bit more in detail. I know that this was kind of rushed, and I'm a little bit nervous, and I'm talking fast. So, this is what it looks like. If you could go to the next slide. Here's some of the people that are already partnered with us. I currently am employed by Midway. I'm the executive director of a 6-month recovery program for men, Entirely Ready. I've done this work before. Entirely Ready is a women's program. The executive director for the Georgia Council for Recovery is actually an alumni of the program that I created back in 14. So we have St. George, and we've got our board of directors. Like, we've got some people that see the need and that are here to support, but it's gonna take an effort. So having the counties blessing the voice, whatever that looks like, I don't know, whatever that looks like, that's what I'm asking for. And I just wanted to be able to present this and let you all know, and the community, like, it's time. It's time. My goal is to make Spalding County the recovery mecca. If you need help, there is no service that you can't get, no matter what age, where, any of that stuff. Recovery should be available to everyone. Thank you.
A couple of points I'd like to make. Thank you, Nicole. A couple of points. One, so everybody is aware, this year already we have passed all last year's on a calendar basis for suicides in our county. We're losing people. All last year, and already in this first 6 months, we've already lost more than we lost last year. please, if you see somebody who's in need, take the time to stop, get on 988, the telephone number, to be able to do that. If you don't know how to handle it, reach out, get somebody else to help them, one. Secondly, tonight we're going to, we've already established and we're going to appoint people onto a behavioral health committee to try to take a stand and start figuring out where gaps are and what we can do. This is a major emphasis area for us in this fiscal year. It's people like Nicole that come forward that speak to us and remind us about what it's like and what it can be like. So thank you, Nicole. Next item. At this time, I would like to recognize TJ Emberger, the Director for Public Works, who will share with us a special presentation. Director Emberger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We have an exciting this evening as we have two special presentations. Our first, we will be recognizing Tavalis Daniel, as he has recently received his American Public Works Association and University of Georgia Carl Vincent Institute Advanced Certificate of Public Works Management. The program includes 90 hours of coursework over a 3-year period. Instruction includes 6 modules: Fundamentals of Public Works, the Political Environment of Public Works, Legal and Ethical Issues in Public Works, Leadership and Management, Managing Service Delivery in Public Works, and Process Improvement in Public Works. Tavalis has worked for Spalding County for over 10 years. He began in Public Works as a Public Works officer. Then he went to Parks as a Parks Maintenance officer. Then he went back to Public Works as a Public Works officer. And then he was promoted to his current position, Senior Public Works Officer, where he's in charge of the West Side Motor Grader crew for the county. This past April, he completed his Griffin Spalding Chamber of Commerce Leadership Program. He's a graduate of the GRPA Maintenance Management Program. And as we were at the awards ceremony a couple of weeks ago, the instructional coordinator came up to me and said that Tavalis has made an excellent impact on the program, and they will be asking him to serve on a statewide committee next year.
Cool.
Congratulations.
And joining him this evening is his family, his wife Adrian, son Tavalis Jr., daughter Anisha. His oldest daughter is attending Georgia Southern, Tavaria. He has his mom, Teresa Daniel, and his grandparents, Sandra and Frank Brooks, are also here to celebrate with him this evening.
Well,
And then slideshow down at the bottom.
Daniel, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I can hear you. Good evening, everyone.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Thank you. First off, I want to thank TJ for really entrusting in me and giving the opportunity to attend those classes, because you learn a lot at those classes for work and at home, because they help you grow both ways and you get to see things in a different perspective. So I just want to thank TJ, Dr. Letbetter, for driving to Jericho, coming to see me graduate, and the board for allowing us the opportunity to go to Jericho. And, my wonderful family and my supervisor, Kevin, I want to thank him for the opportunity of so I can shout at him and seeing what's going on. And I really just appreciate the opportunity, and very excited, and just grateful for the opportunity. And I just want to, thank all the supervisor, Greg, Brad, and everybody else. So I just want to, David, anybody that don't leave, I just want to appreciate everybody for the opportunity and just be with me through the way. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
I think he was trying to test me to see if I memorize it next time. Once again, congratulations to Vice. Can I continue?
Please.
All right. Earlier this month in Jekyll Island, our staff was awarded the American Public Works Association Georgia State Chapter 2025 Technical and Management Innovation Award. This is also our first APWA award. This award recognizes an individual, team, or organization for the development, management, and implementation of a creative idea, program, process, or system that enhances the delivery of public works services to the public. Spalding County was recognized for our Public Services Safety Days. 2018, we began a new annual training program called Snow Days. In 2023, we expanded the program to 2 days and renamed it the Safety Days. 4 goals were established: provide comprehensive training, make that training interesting, learn to respond as a team, and prepare to deliver improved services to our residents during a weather-related emergency. Unique aspects of the program include classes provided by GDOT and 811, safety scenarios such as setting up barricades, closing roads, and creating construction zones are practiced in real time. Hands-on equipment usage to include setting up salt spreaders, trench safety, trailer safety, and equipment operation techniques. Classroom time includes flagger training, work order, and FEMA reporting, incident command, and cross-training for all public services departments for weather response preparation. Park safety includes winter sidewalk clearing, equipment operation around the public, and facility safety. Vendor partners attend and train on items to include bucket truck safety, chipper safety, and proper use of PPE. As a direct result of Safety Days, we have established many new protocols. This includes for our Emergency Operations Center and in the Public Works EOC. We developed a live reporting system that directly relays road closures and incidents to our EOC. And we have established the TV screen notification system used throughout our county buildings. Additionally, all of our employees must have traffic incident management certification, FEMA certifications, and become a certified flagger. We established a committee to make this the best program possible. That committee includes Greg Stansel, Greg Thaxton, Greg Honeycutt, Charles Dotson, Kevin King, Randy King, Joey Ingram, David Simmons, Jason Williams, Tavalis Daniel, Brad Sweet, Danielle Goodrum, Gary Slayton, Casey Lee, and Mickey Rios. Several of the committee members are here this evening to be recognized, and I would like to ask them to step forward.
TJ was also the Parks Manager of the Year. This is a big up-and-coming county, and it shows by the different kinds of people that were being recognized. Now, we'll back to where everybody is. All right, can everybody see Larry? So those of you that don't know, this is Griffin Daily News, taking pictures. And those of you that haven't had that opportunity to see him in action before. All right. Me?
No. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, yeah, it's like, Steve, step out to your right just a hair. Not that much. There you go. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
So everybody knows I'm giving a second to be able to get everybody out of the room that are walking out, so they don't disrupt everybody else. All right. Item number 4, citizen comments. Speakers must sign up prior to the meeting and provide their names, addresses, and the topics they wish to discuss. Speakers must direct your comments to the board and not to individual members or the audience. Please note, personal disagreements with individual members or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. I have a gavel here and the microphone to stop anybody from doing that. The chairman has the right to limit your comments in the interest of disposing of the county's business in an efficient and respectful manner. Speakers will be allocated 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topics as they relate to matters pertaining to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No questions will be asked by any of the members during citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speakers will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. Dr. Ledbetter, do we have people who have signed up tonight?
Yes, sir, we do. Ms. Carrie Gibler, if you would step forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
Carrie Gepler, 646 MacArthur Drive, Griffin, Georgia. I don't really have a whole lot of stuff written. I just found out about this meeting today when I was on the way to take the Ingalls German Shepherd to be spayed, by the way. A dog that a lot of us were watching for about a month. Anyway, that particular dog that animal control wouldn't pick up and refused to pick up cost me about $1,500 in lost revenue for hours that I did at work while I was out doing animal control's job because people were concerned. In any event, I want to give those who are interested in FOIA and open records something to think about. I'd suggest you get out your pen. I do not believe that our animal control has the euthanol, which is the drug used to euthanize animals. It is a controlled substance. It's controlled by federal law. On the sheet that records that animals have been euthanized, there is a space for the bottle number of the euthanol, the beginning amount, 100 milliliters or whatever, the animal species, the animal control, the animal intake number, the animal weight, the method of euthanization, IV or heart stick, the amount that was given. Of course, it's based on weight. A layperson 1, a layperson 2 has to sign off on that. If y'all have been given a list of animals that have been euthanized and all that information is not on there, that's a problem with the records. And I'm wondering, if you guys don't have any euthanol, what are you going to do with an animal that comes in at night that's been severely injured? Does it have to wait till morning? Do we take it to an emergency vet? Does it just suffer? I don't know. We've been hearing that there is no room at that shelter for over 1.5 years. They've been refusing to take in strays or found dogs, even at the facility coming out to get them. And now all of a sudden we're taking in all of these animals. The last few days, the Facebook feed's been filled with the number of animals that we've taken in. Where are they being housed? If we were full a month ago and nothing's been euthanized, where are they putting these animals? We've got free milk bottles, pads for kittens. We now have what I understand over $5,000 bill that's owed. I'm not sure who it's owed to, the county, but the volunteers were asked to pay for this. I think that means that the vets probably aren't getting paid. I don't know how a $5,000 bill got racked up. Another thing for open records. The Spader ordinance was working before Brent left. We were at less than 10% kill. We had a no-kill shelter at that time. Brent was really good about getting things moved out with rescues. And being able to evaluate dogs and knowing which ones were not going to be adoptable. None of us want to put dogs to sleep. None of us do. It is dangerous what is going on now. Me and a few people out here won't even walk our dogs because of the number of strays and the number of people getting attacked. So, gosh, let's see. I've gone over. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
We need a new director.
Robin Allgood.
Hey, you guys have my address on the piece of paper. Do I have to speak it?
Yes, ma'am. We need your
Publicly.
name and address for the record, please.
Okay, it's Robin Allgood, 845 Grant Road, Brooks.
Thank you.
I'm a lost pet recovery specialist, and I also humanely trap strays. I've trapped hundreds of dogs all over Georgia. I've been trapping for almost 7 years, and the first dog I ever trapped was in Spalding County. I worked closely with previous directors of the shelter who were always willing to intake strays. I'm not a rescue. I'm an individual that loves animals. I do this because it is my passion. It is heartbreaking to see a dog living on the street. I want to help all of them, but because the director had closed intake for the shelter, these animals were left to fend for themselves. When a shelter doesn't do what it was built for, this makes getting the stray dogs off the street very hard. Dogs are considered property in Georgia, therefore every dog should be turned into the shelter to assure if there is an owner or not. This makes trapping difficult. I don't know if it's a stray, if it's a dog running at large because the owner allows it, or if it's a lost dog. It's a slippery slope, but I always try to make sure if it has an owner, it is returned to the owner. The shelter is usually the first place an owner will look for their dog. This isn't happening in Spalding County because intake is closed. A few weeks ago, someone posted on social media a mama and 2 puppies in the Walmart parking lot. A friend and I drove around looking for the small little family. They were constantly moving in search of food. We finally found them a couple of days later, and animal control was called. They happened to be in the city, and animal control did respond, but we were told they could not remove the dogs because intake was closed at the shelter per the director. The dogs were left on the street. It was hard getting in my vehicle, driving off, watching as I left these helpless animals to fend for themselves. Unfortunately, the fate of one of these puppies didn't end well. She was hit and killed by a car. I hope she died instantly. I hope she didn't suffer. This would not have happened had the animal control officer been able to pick these dogs up and take them to the shelter. There's a homeless animal crisis in this county, and no one at the county level is doing anything to help. Rescues cannot fix this problem, and it's not their problem to fix. It's Spalding County's problem. Closing intake because your shelter is full is not the answer. Hard decisions have to be made. I don't like using the word euthanize, but we're here. Humanely euthanizing is not the worst thing that can happen to an animal. Dying a slow, painful death on your street is much worse than humanely euthanizing. I'm asking you to do better. I'm asking you to look at all your policies and procedures and make change where it's needed. When you lay your head down on your pillow tonight, I want each one of you to think about that innocent, precious puppy that died on your street.
Jessica? Thank you. If you could step forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Dr. Jessica Titshaw. I live at 210 Bonta Vista Way. Address is Locust Grove, but it is in Spalding County. I'm a veterinarian here in Spalding County, and unfortunately, I have seen some pretty awful things that I have not seen elsewhere. Firstly, I know euthanasia is a hard thing to discuss. Part of my oath as a veterinarian is to do no harm. And yet veterinarians euthanize dogs every day because it's not a bad thing. It feels terrible, it does, but the word euthanasia literally means good death. And sometimes, as others have stated, hard decisions have to be made. I would just like to reflect on a personal story I have an experience with animal control here in Spalding County in the events of my job. A client that we had not seen before called. Animal control was going to be transporting their dog for euthanasia. It was a disabled client who could no longer drive and bring his dog to us, but his dog had been seizing for several days. When they got there, animal control then said it was supposed to be a owner surrender and not a transport for euthanasia. I had to get on a three-way call with the director of animal control and the owner and revisit over and over why euthanasia was the correct choice here. For those of you unaware, seizures are overactive, essentially electrical impulses in the brain, and brain damage does result from prolonged seizures. Even if we were to stop this poor dog's seizures and get him on medication, the damage was likely already done. And while I try to say these horrible things in a very nice way for clients and owners who are suffering, it's very hard, it is. I had to be a little more forceful because some people were not really willing to listen. So unfortunately, this dog's suffering was prolonged, and the owner's experience with this awful situation was prolonged because someone felt that they knew better, despite my thousands of dollars in school debt and hours and hours of of study time. I'll just end it there. I believe my practice manager is also going to speak tonight, so she'll probably address the calls we get every day from people asking us to come get these animals because animal control won't.
Thank you, Doctor.
Samantha Weir.
Hi, my name is Samantha Weir. My address is 372 Jeff Davis Drive. It's in Fayetteville, but I work here in Spalding County. I am the practice manager at the animal hospital where Dr. Jessica works. I recently joined this practice about 3.5 months ago from another county where I've seen what good animal control can do. Sorry, it's a little emotional speaking on this. So every single day, we get phone calls, many phone calls regarding different situations of stray animals, animal attacks, things like that. And of course, people say, we've already reached out to animal control. They're not doing anything. Nobody will come look at these animals. Nobody will help. We are a business. We can only do so much to help these animals. And we have all reached our limits. I can assure you for every animal hospital in this county. What we are asking is just for some support. When we call, we are asking to be heard, not immediately shut down and told what else you have going on at the shelter, because that's all we're getting. It's immediately shut down, won't even listen to the stories, will not help our community, and animals are suffering. People are suffering because we are the ones who have to take the responsibility when no one else will. So I'm just asking for you guys to open your hearts a little bit more and see, it's not only affecting the animals, but it's also affecting the people who take care of them on a daily basis. And that goes for the rescues and the volunteers as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha.
Crystal Evans.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Crystal Evans. I live at 1423 Wesley Drive, Griffin. And I'm here today to talk about the animal control crisis and the strays. First off, some here may know me today as the lady who started the huge task of trapping and rescuing all the Walmart pack of stray dogs here in Griffin a few years ago. There were a total of 32 stray dogs, feral puppies who called Walmart parking lot in the wooded area next to the movie theater home for many years. Most people in the community knew about this problem. Some really wanted to help, but others just turned a blind eye. I didn't know where to start or where to turn. I knew that there was something that had to be done to this overbreeding, overpopulated group of stray dogs in this area. In January of 2021, I watched and observed these dogs, knew something important had to be done. Animal control did not assist nor want to be involved, as they said, we have tried to trap them and failed before. You're welcome to give it a try. We will let you borrow a trap. Okay, I was able to gather a great group of ladies who volunteered in rescue. We took on this overwhelming task of skittish, stray, feral dogs over the course of a year and a half. We were able to trap 31 of these dogs and puppies that had been left out to rebreed over and over again, left by the animal control in Spalding County. The cycle will continue unless one by one they are trapped and vetted. Introducing a feral dog to a kind, trusting human is super hard work. You'll never really understand what our rescue team went through to ensure we stopped these feral strays in our community and gained their trust. So you can just imagine how we felt to learn that there were another pack of stray dogs that were starting to form at the Griffin Walmart a few months ago. We had 100% of this under control, and no ferals were running around for several years. And then Spalding County Animal Control was notified multiple times, and they simply denied to pick them up. I have many pictures, videos over the time period showing all of my rescue team accomplished to gain trust by these feral dogs and strays. It took a very long time, but in the end, it was all worth the blood, sweat, and tears invested in these 31 dogs that we grew to know, to love, each and every one. Every single dog we saved had a name, and it felt a soft touch of a human hand. I stand here today in honor of all these strays who helped save and be their voice of reason. They did not choose to live this life out here on the streets or in an empty field all alone. For the strays left behind in our community, they need our love and support and their voice and help to be their purpose. Don't just leave them behind. Thank God, and God bless every single person who stands up for the underdog, for the one living in a street corner, behind your local grocery store, trying to survive. God bless. Thank you.
Kimberly Babb.
Hello. My name is Kimberly Babb. My address is 12547 Highway 109 in Meansville, Georgia. My name is Kimberly Babb. I am the former practice owner of North Griffin Animal Hospital. I've worked in veterinary medicine and in rescue since 1996. I, along with my team, worked with Spalding County Animal Control from 2015 until I sold my practice in 2023. I worked on a weekly basis with several animal rescues who pulled and vetted all the animals at Spalding County Animal Control. We saved hundreds of lives in those 8 years. I mention all of that to emphasize that I understand what is required to save shelter animals. It is heartbreaking and appalling to witness and hear what is currently happening at this shelter. In veterinary medicine and rescue, our role is to act as a voice for the animals who are unable to speak for themselves. What is occurring at this shelter is, in my opinion, nothing short of a horrific tragedy. I suggest a call of action to terminate the current director of this shelter. All of this is taking place to maintain the shelter's no-kill status.
The general public has zero clue what that term means. I personally do not, nor do I support a no-kill status. Keeping an animal alive just so it can be contained in a jail cell is no life. Keeping a medical case alive without any hope of solution is tantamount to torture. This is not a life of quality, and it becomes a number to maintain a no-kill status. Euthanasia can serve as a compassionate medical procedure, significantly superior to situations such as starvation, heat stroke, hypothermia, or being hit by a car. Being held in loving arms while going to sleep is certainly better than dying the horrible deaths that most of these strays and animal shelters animals receive. Quality of life should be at the forefront of this situation instead of maintaining an ego to keep a no-kill status. We all have different experiences, challenges, and methods, but I think we can all agree that animal welfare for domestic animals is a huge issue right now, and we need changes on a government level. Given this need, no-kill ideologies appear irresponsible and disconnect from the current overpopulation crisis. No-kill is a noble sentiment, and 20 years ago, I was leading the charge to save them all. What we've learned is we can't rescue our way out of this situation. We must abandon the deceptive tactics often associated with public relation-based movements, such as a no-kill status. Animal welfare needs more transparency and honesty. Too many animals' lives have been caught up in the idea of numbers. They need their faces back. Every one of us has an opportunity to be a change maker in our community, making the lives of these animals better. This change doesn't happen when we are turning away the very animals who need our help. We need to push the conversations that help us grow our communities forward so they wholly understand the reasons why we are seeing so many cats and dogs in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Heather Beauforth.
Name and address.
Yes, please.
Heather Goforth, 122 Woodlands Drive.
Could you speak closer to the microphone? I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes, better?
Yes.
Okay. I am the worst public speaker on face of the earth, so I'm going to read straight
We
from
all
my
understand.
phone. So, my name is Heather Goforth, and I'm founder and president of Joy's Promise Canine Rescue. I'm here today on behalf of the animals in Spalding County. I'll be brief, as most of what I wanted to say has already been provided to you in the 28-page letter emailed on July 3rd. Thank you. I am simply here to ask each and every one of you to read the letter in its entirety and act on it. If there's anyone here that hasn't read it, it can be downloaded at joyspromise.org/scacc. I am here to try and help spotting animals. That is all it boils down to. That is the only reason anyone in this room here speaking on animal control is here. Which that said, if you are here in support tonight for the change of spotting animals, can you raise your hand? Just out of curiosity. You have a room full of people with one goal at mind and heart: improve animal welfare in Spalding. Animals are suffering at a rapidly increasing rate, and none of us hold the power to stop it. But you do. You sitting in front of us are the ones holding the power to end the senseless suffering on your streets. We are asking you to please implement the change needed. Let us be an ally, a resource to you, a partner to you. We all want to help you improve animal welfare in Spalding County, but only you sitting in front of us hold the power to make the necessary changes and kick things off. And I think that's about it. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Rachel Sims.
Good evening. I'm Rachel Sims, and my address is 239 Valley Hill Road, Griffin, Georgia. I'm also here with all of the volunteers, and I've written up just a little something. Rescue should not be done silently. County governments have quietly shifted the overwhelming burden of stray animals onto unpaid volunteers without providing any funding, resources, or accountability. Under the leadership of the current director, our animal control system has become dangerously unsustainable. Animals and our communities are being left to suffer the consequences. Instead of functioning as a true animal control, the system has turned into a half out on the streets. While some animals languish in cages for months or years, hoping for adoption, Others die painful deaths just outside the gates. We demand better. Taxpayer dollars are being wasted on a broken system that neither protects the public nor the animals. This is not rescue. This is failure disguised as sheltering. We will not stay silent. Change must happen now. And I do want to also add to that that if we are able to get animal control where we do want it, with urgent list each week and euthanasia in place, that I'm sure that volunteers will show up and make sure that we actually don't have to euthanize. But that's just how we want it to be structured. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Mickey Lumia.
Good evening, Mickey Lumia, 165 Northampton Drive, Fayetteville, Georgia. This is actually a story. I'm not an expert nor a professional dog vet or anything, but I'm known as the crazy dog lady because I have a huge heart for animals. I volunteer, I foster, and I have a lot of people reach out to me. I work in Henry County, but a lot of people there live in Spalding County, and I'm constantly contacted. This specific story, I was in Florida on vacation, and someone from Spalding County reached out saying that a stray dog was running around in their yard, and she has an aggressive dog, so she kept it inside and was like, can you please help me? And I'm like, well, I'm in Florida, but you need to reach out to your animal control because it might be someone's dog, you don't know, but contain it so it doesn't get hit. So I guess she did, because she called me back crying, and I'm like, why are you crying? And she's like, because they won't come out. I'm like, well, can you take it to PetSmart somewhere, see if it's got a chip? She's like, no, my car's broken down, but they won't come out, and I'm trying to keep this dog from getting hit. I'm like, okay, well, try them again. Tell them that you just need a chip. Check for a chip. Someone can help. They told her to call the sheriff's department, and when she asked them to come help, they said they wouldn't. She's like, what am I supposed to do? And they're like, well, if it won't leave your property, you can shoot it. This is what I was being told. I said, okay, I will come to you on my way home from Florida and get the dog. I did, took it home with me, went to PetSmart the next morning, found the chip. They contacted the owner, who was another Spalding County resident, who reached out, contacted me, and I got him his dog back. Had that not happened, he probably would have gotten hit in the road, or if she would have taken their suggestion, the Spalding County resident's dog would have been shot instead of being returned to him. So I ask you to please make changes.
Thank you, Michelle.
Jennifer Warren.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Warren at 44 Far Road in Griffin. I wasn't going to talk tonight because I don't like to get involved in political stuff, but I think I need to say a few things. I've lived here for 8 years, and from the day that I moved here, I started helping my dad trap, neuter, release, foster, and adopt out animals. Mainly cats, because my dad is the cat man. We all know that. That's 8 years. I do occasionally foster for animal control. I take the hard case puppies. Some of them don't make it. Some of them do. I have a 70-pound pitty that I adopted as a pup. It weighed 3 pounds at 3 months old when I adopted him from animal control. It's not animal control's fault. None of this is animal control's fault, with the exception of not being able to take in strays. It's the problem of the community. I see day in and day out people dumping animals on dirt roads. My dad's house is a dumping ground. My grandmother bought that house in the 80s. It was a dumping ground for cats, for dogs, and everything. You just don't even know. My dad has fostered, trapped, neutered, and released in all the surrounding counties: Meriwether, Henry, Clayton, Butts County, Jasper County, Lamar, and Pike. He's done that for the last 15 years. A lot of times he pays out of pocket for spay and neuter. This is not easily fixed. We are overpopulated. The biggest thing here is the community needs to come together with the county. We need to get the overpopulation under control. I personally do not believe in euthanasia unless it is necessary. Illness, heartworm, traffic accidents. Those animals need to be humanely euthanized. But we can help if we all work together. That's what it's going to take. Everybody in the community that's willing to help, and the Board of Commissioners. And I'm not saying the county shovel over money. We need to come together, have a powwow and say, look, we're going to delegate this person to do this person to do that, and work together. There's no reason to call anybody out on anything. Furthermore, I'd like to say I'll continue that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Alicia Fletcher.
Hi, I'm Alicia Fletcher. I'm here to discuss the animal shelter in Miss Hennessy, of course.
Address, please.
133 2nd Avenue,
Thank
Griffin, Georgia. I've worked with Miss Hennessy with Animal Rescue, the animal shelter, and Happy Tails Humane. Every animal in her care receives the care that they need. The animals that come into the shelter that are sick, they go to the vet immediately before they even come into the shelter. Animals that are dying in her care, that are suffering in cages, these are false allegations. Miss Hennessy learned that the animals were not being recorded in the computer under other management. There was like a 3-day hold. Miss Hennessy is by the book, and she records every animal that is born immediately. And unfortunately, some of these animals pass away because they're young, they're babies, their mom's sick, whatever. Several of these incidents that have been spoken about tonight were years ago, and she is not to blame for this. The phones are not allowed due to the inmates at the shelter. I volunteer at the shelter. I know several other people here volunteer at the shelter. Miss Hennessy does keep the shelter clean. She takes care of all the animals.
Thank you, Alicia.
Patsy Kingsley.
Hi, I'm Patsy Kingsley, 204 Hillendale Drive here in Griffin. People have complained about the Spalding County Animal Shelter for years, no matter who ran it. Yet I don't remember the personal attacks on the director until now. And from people who do not walk in her shoes, but know what best she needs to do. What I don't know, those who don't know about the sick cat, the dog with the wound infection, the puppy with the broken leg, and the lack of money, time, resources, vet appointments, rooms, and cages. County animal control work is already thankless, knowing it will probably never be the way it should be for the animals. When people who are in the same line of rescue and saving lives are implying you are glory-seeking and lackadaisical when you are literally putting out at least a couple of fires every single day, sometimes 7 days a week, working your tush off for the animals. The crux of the situation seems to be the strays. Strays who are dumped by irresponsible owners who fend for themselves. That is the bottom line. Cretins posing as humans who don't do the responsible thing and spay neuter but breed and dump. So people want these strays caught, and if they're not adopted or transported to other rescues, then euthanized or killed within a week, 10 days, maybe a month, because there are more strays out there that need to be caught. and taken care of. Question to this line of thought is, if killing frequently were the solution, how does Clayton County still have stray dogs left, or Henry County, or any other county that kills on a frequent basis? So, do they die in the shelter or on the street? And they breed because their parents were not fixed prior to being dumped or them running away. Again, this is a lack of individual owner responsibility, which is pretty common in this area. So how many is enough? From what I've seen in various sources, if they killed every dog in the shelter today, it'd be full again by Wednesday. And so then what? They do it all again on Monday? And the next Monday? Wash, rinse, and repeat. Michaela Raines, founder of the Save a Fox Rescue in Minnesota, was cyberbullied by people in other sanctuaries she knew and worked with. They put all sorts of negative garbage out about her personally, and she committed suicide. Ms. Hennessy is already of the mind that no matter what I do, it'll never be enough. And will it? So, is it the years-long problem of the shelter, or is it with the director, who has barely had a year to change how things were always done to how things should be for the animals? Or will those behind the current gang stalkers continue their cyberbullying? As her bosses, I hope you support her.
Thank you.
Suzanne?
Hi, I'm Suzanne Deeb. I live at 497 Skyview Drive, Griffin, Georgia. And I am a PhD student at the University of Georgia Griffin campus. I will say in the years I've been here, because I've been here now 3 years, we've had several instances on campus with ranging from feral packs that have attacked our trucks to going after different people on campus. In a certain instance, a Great Dane stray ripped out a fence section to get at one of our employees. Animal control was called. They could not do anything until someone had been bit. So this seems to be a very frequent occurrence for us at UGA Griffin, as far as I'm aware, from animal control officers, because I have been the person with sucker tattooed on their forehead for a couple of years now, who's called animal control to come pick up the various strays we've had. They are as equally frustrated as we are, because they are trying to do the best they can, but their hands are tied. So in March, as some of you know, I was the one who picked up the husky, whose name is now Dusty, and the little brown dog that was running around that area and eating trash for a month. I was able to find the original owner because I went and lost my mind and decided to find her landlord. And unfortunately, due to family circumstances, they had a sitter, something went wrong, dogs were dumped. I was able to find those dogs' homes, but that responsibility had been put on me. Luckily, when the incident happened, I was driving my car, stopped. I opened my door, they jumped in my car, called animal control. I was at the fire station right there by campus, and Jimmy Smith, who's a firefighter there, once animal control came, and he called the shelter in front of me, and I could hear the shelter straight through the phone with her. They were very aggressive about saying no, they could not take any more dogs. He offered to help me. He provided me food, he provided me bowls, he provided me leashes and toys and everything, so I appreciate Jimmy Smith and all that he did for me. That responsibility to put those dogs into homes fell on me. So I was going to Baton Rouge in 3 days to go to a conference, and I worked my butt off to get those dogs into homes, and I did. But the animal control officers are doing the best they can. They just need support. So I have multiple instances like this where I have gone and had to deal with these things and reported them, and unfortunately they could not do anything. But this is something that does need to change. They are very frustrated. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Suzanne. Kelly Parsons.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Parsons. I live at 269 Steel Road, Milner, Georgia. I'm actually an employee of the shelter. I have worked for Spalding County Animal Care and Control for almost a year, And in that time, I've seen the dedication, determination, and tenacity of everyone there to try and heal, rehabilitate, and rehome hundreds of neglected and in some cases abused dogs and cats. I've seen these people tear up and cry in joy when we have the perfect adoption and in sorrow when we lose one of the animals in our care. Anyone who has had a pet fully understands the amazing love and connection we feel for our furry family friends. But some of the animals that come through the shelter have never experienced affection or kindness in their lives and need some time to build trust. This means a bond develops between the animal and the caregiver that is hard to explain to someone who has never experienced it. Everyone at the shelter is actively involved in providing daily care, socialization, and medical care both in-house and through visits to one of several vet clinics that we work with closely. We want to get these animals healthy and happy to adopt into a forever home as quickly as possible. In the past 2 weeks, since July 6th, we have had 58 intakes and 44 adoptions. I am regularly in contact with potential adopters and have received numerous compliments regarding how clean and organized they find the shelter and are impressed with the condition of the animals in Spalding compared to other shelters they have visited. Though lately, I have also received numerous inquiries regarding what appears to be a campaign to discredit and disparage the Spalding Animal Shelter and the people who put their heart and soul into caring for the animals within. One of the key points appears to be the considering of euthanasia as an effective means of controlling stray populations caused from overbreeding by irresponsible pet owners. This seems to not only be unrealistic, but also a callous idea. It would be more productive means to address this issue by directing our efforts toward educating the public and enforcing the existing ordinances regarding the necessity of spay and neuter of animals. We should focus on finding ways to provide low-cost spay and neuter service in the community to promote responsible pet ownership instead of viciously striking out at the director and the facility and the people who work there to try and make the difference in these animals' lives. There is never an easy solution for the indiscriminate breeding and overpopulation of what should be considered companion animals to most people. But instead of working against each other, wouldn't it be more productive to work toward a solution of the problem from where it starts and with the irresponsible and indiscriminate breeding of dogs and cats? As the animal shelter is the sole housing for animals from the county as well as the city of Griffin, this is a situation that should be addressed by both departments, and they should be working together to come up with a solution. These attacks through social media and mailing campaigns are not an effective means to come up with a solution for the stray animal situation within the county. This is only a given platform for vitriol, cruelty, and hate speech, as well as a means to air incomplete tales and false information for those who want to strike out at an individual or at a group, but has not done anything to actually offer a viable, realistic solution to the problem. I've seen the extent. Excuse me. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Michael Renew.
Hello, my name is Michael Renew. I live at 500 Airdrum Way. Some of the stuff I have to say has already been said, so I'm not going to repeat it, so I'll hear it again. But going by some things I've seen online, I saw that our shelter doesn't work with other rescues. There's a lot of rescues here today. I don't know if any of these particular rescues have worked with the shelter or not. I congratulate them having rescues and saving animals. The one thing I hear them saying is they want to save the animals, but in the next sentence they're saying you need to kill the animals. I'm interested to know how many dogs or animals they take in after, say, 10 days do they put down and bring in more to their rescue. We do have partners. We have the Atlanta Humane as a transport partner. We have a neonatal rescue. We have Fayette Humane who helps us, Angels Amongst Us, Sadie's Kennel Couch, Henry's House, and there's two others that have helped this year. That was a one-time deal. They came and got animals from our shelter. We've already heard people talk about there's a lot of stuff going on that the animals aren't cared for. We've already heard they're vetted before they come in. If they're sick or wounded in any way, they go to the vet. If they're sick or hurting in the shelter, they go to the vet. There are limited, very limited funds for this. Space in the shelter. I keep hearing the shelter's closed. Shelter is not closed. The average for the year so far is 60 animals a month taken in. I'm hearing they want more taken in. And their solution is they believe an animal should have 3 days, for the owner to come and get it, 3 days for it to be adopted or sent to a rescue. After that, put them down. No animal has a chance with 6 days. They don't. Now, there could be debate because there is things like kennel rage. If a dog is held too long in a kennel, it doesn't happen that much with cats, but dogs it definitely does. So there could be an ordinance set, a line drawn in the sand. An animal can only stay a month, 2 months, whatever it is, and go from there. Till then, I think the discretion of the animal director, who y'all put in charge, and who is, by the way, doing exactly as y'all ask her to do. The city of Griffin, as we've heard, also uses the shelter, and it's my understanding they only give $1,000 a year to help the shelter. I don't know why that is, but they need to step up their game. That's all I got. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Rebecca Skelton.
Hello, Rebecca Skelton, 123 Tilney Avenue, Griffin, Georgia 30224. I came to this meeting tonight to address a difficult but essential topic, the urgent need to get our overcrowded shelter situation under control, beginning with implementing a shelter stay limit and humane euthanasia. What we're doing now simply is not working and something needs to drastically change. Via the Spalding County Animal Shelter's website of current animals available for adoption, as of today, July 21st, I was devastated to find 11 dogs that had been in our shelter for a year or longer. Living in isolation within a cold concrete kennel slowly chips away at a dog's spirit. Day by day, their mental and emotional well-being deteriorates. Many of these animals receive only the bare minimum of human interaction, often a few rushed moments with inmates tasked with moving them from cage to cage during cleaning. That is not a life. It is a slow, silent form of suffering. To those who oppose the idea of humane euthanasia, I urge you to visit the shelter. They are open on most Saturdays. Spend an entire day there. Walk from kennel to kennel. Meet the dogs. Look into their eyes and listen to the constant noise of barking and metal doors clanking. Take a dog outside for a walk. Watch how their entire demeanor transforms as they feel the grass beneath their paws and breathe in the fresh air. Then observe the reaction when it's their time to return to the kennel. See how their bodies lower and their eyes dull as they retreat back into that confined space. You'll witness the moment they mentally shut down, knowing the joy that they just felt was fleeting. And then ask yourself, is it truly in the best interest to live like this for years on end? Are we prolonging their lives for them, or are we doing it because it makes us feel better? Because it helps the shelter meet a live release statistic. Setting reasonable limits on shelter strays paired with the option of humane euthanasia when necessary is a compassionate and reasonable approach to getting the overcrowded animal population under control. While euthanasia is never an ideal outcome, it is a more humane alternative than the animals suffering and dying on the streets due to neglect, starvation, injury, or disease. It's time we shift our focus from simply keeping animals alive in the shelter to genuinely considering their quality of life. While raising concerns is important, it's equally as essential to propose constructive solutions as well. Although this may not be a complete resolution, I would like to suggest a practical step forward. I believe the animal shelter in collaboration with code enforcement should take a more proactive approach in addressing the issue of unaltered animals by enforcing fines and spay and neuter services to the residents of Spalding County. Furthermore, individuals fined for failing to alter their animals should be required to complete community service hours at the shelter. This would not only contribute to the shelter's operations, but also offer firsthand insight into the severity of the overpopulation crisis we face. Keeping pet populations under control is a crucial step towards creating a more humane and sustainable future for both the animals and the communities they live in. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Annelle Barden.
Hello, my name's Annelle Barden. I live at 37 Lenox Circle in Griffin. And after hearing everyone, I've totally changed what I was going to say. I really feel for you. I have compassion toward cats, love dogs. I've known the director actually since 2013. I have been a volunteer helping a foster as well as helping clean cages. After working for the post office for 32 years, being a postmaster and a manager, I know that managers have managers. So there's always someone to manage above our head. But what I'm hearing, living here in Spalding, is that I'm asking the board to reach out, helping the shelter reach out to even the governor to perhaps get some money to help people spay and neuter. It is not cheap anymore unless you go through. I also work part-time for Catnip Bus. It's expensive to go to a veterinarian now. Where I used to pick up strays side the road, I can't do that anymore. I can't afford it. I also have picked up boxes in front of Kroger that had somebody dumped out a mother with 5 kittens, and it got run over, and everybody was squished except for the cat that I own named Ari, and I bottle fed her. But just like mental health, we're reaching out to other organizations to help us. I'm asking you guys to come up with a board where anyone that's complaining or wants to help or has a passion to find a home for animals, let's reach out to even other states. I've known, working with the rescue, that there are other states that, hey, we're shortage of cats, shortage of dogs. Let's try to turn the population over like that. Now, if there's a feral animal, not everybody is willing to take time with that type of animal. I've had a cat as a kitten. She was feral. It took me 2 years before I could pick her up. I still have the cat after 13 years. You have to be very patient, and a lot of people don't have time or don't have patience. Reach out to other counties. Ask for assistance. Sounds like we need a bigger building and maybe more help, which I don't want the property taxes to go up, but, and then volunteer. I just tell you, that's what makes the world go round. Let's volunteer and help.
Thank you.
Allison Burley.
Hello, my name is Allison Burley, and I live at 2785 Highway 81 West in Hampton, Georgia. I am a retired teacher and a former shelter volunteer. I am here to support all of the stray, neglected, and abused animals here in Spalding County. It's been quite a while since I attended a commissioners meeting. In the past, I was so excited that the dogs were finally getting to go outside on a regular basis. They were either walked or taken to the runs to play. A deworming and vaccine protocol was established, and veterinary care was provided to those animals who needed it. That's all still happening, and I'm very happy about that. Adoption rates were increasing, they still are, by leaps and bounds, and animals were being spayed and neutered. I'm not sure if that's happening anymore, but anyway. I looked forward to seeing the dogs in the appropriate sized kennels. I've been concerned about it because the middle kennels have a door that goes down in the middle, and the Georgia State Agriculture, Georgia Department of Agriculture says that dogs need to be at least in a 6-foot space, and at our shelter it's so full that most of the time the doors are closed and these poor animals are in 3-foot spaces, and I hate that. I really hate that. It causes dogs to lose their mind, and I know that for sure because I've been there for over a year. Anyway, so keep going. Unfortunately, it's few and far between when those doors are open, and that's actually against the law. As a member of the Facebook Spalding discussion page, there were numerous and daily posts of dogs turned away by the shelter. I see them every day. I knew how full they were and that there really wasn't space for any more dogs. But for each adoption, there's 5 to 10, maybe more dogs that need the shelter. I read the long and detailed letter by Heather Goforth, who I don't know, who runs a rescue and helps Spalding animals. Everything that's in that letter, 28 pages, is true. So I hope you read the letter. Everything is true. There's no lies. There's no misinformation. It's all true. It's evidence. It's true. Something needs to be done so more animals do not have to suffer by starvation, abandonment, injury, and neglect. What can we do? What's working in nearby counties? I live in Henry County and have seen some amazing improvements with the shelter, but it has taken many years. They look forward to becoming a no-kill shelter someday, but the director says that there's just too many animals at this time. There continues to be overpopulation, and everyone knows because it's not enough spaying and neutering. It's very expensive. Let me interject that Henry County has a humane society, which we don't have here, and there's also regular rescue partners that help, and they don't really have that here either. There are rescues that have helped Spalding, but they don't help often. There's a reason for that, which I will not go into, and it's very sad. So no one wants to euthanize another being. I think it's horrible. Everybody thinks it's horrible, but it's necessary.
Thank you, Allison.
E.C. Cochran.
My name is Chuck Cochran. I live at 800 Campground Road, Griffin, Georgia. I've been before this board before. A lot of you remember me. The first time I come before this board was about 2015, 2016. At that time, myself and the director of Fayette Humane come here trying to get a TNR program in this county. It was shunned. I'm not here to complain. I'm not here to lay blame. Everything that has been said today is true. But the county commissioners did not create this problem. Animal control did not create this problem. This problem was created by the citizens that work and live in this county. At last report that I seen, there's 69,800 people in this county. There's 69,780 people that live in this county that turn their eyes, turn their back, and do nothing but complain. You people here did not create the problem. Animal control didn't create the problem. The people in this county created the problem. It's the responsibility of the citizens of this county to help clean it up. Animal control could do more, the county could do more, but basically it's the people in this county. They could come together, create groups, and do spade and neuter. They could come to animal control, foster, and help out. My gripe is not with anybody in this office here or with animal control. They are doing a fine job with what they have to work with. It's the people in this county. My Christmas present one year was a mother cat and 5 kittens. Last week, for a fact, somebody threw a cat away in a trash bag at the recycling center. Fortunately, the cat did not suffocate. The week before that, an 87, 88-year-old man that I helped years ago, 2017, 2018, called me up and said, "Chuck, can you help me?" He lives off West Ellis. There's a dirt road. Somebody dumped a litter of 4-week-old kittens off on him. I spoke with my vet last week. My vet told me that last week they had 2 animals come in that had to have their arms amputated because they were thrown from vehicles.
Thank you.
I would like to read this, sir, if I may.
No, you had your 3 minutes. Thank you. Next.
Virgin herd.
Some of the other stuff too.
I'm Bergen Hurd, 2143 Blanton Mill Road. I've never been here before. It's interesting. Today is the first, I'm here for something else, but today is the first time I'm hearing about the animal situation. But it's very, very bad because on my street, I used to live a mile down the road, and with that mile, I would always get drop-offs. I've had on the dirt road, I've had that little dog in a cage left on the side of the dirt road. But I would pick them up then. I had 100 acres. I could play around with them, this, that, and the other. And I was working. I'm retired from Delta with 30 years. But now I'm on the other end. So when I leave to go that way, I'm always seeing stray dogs. So I left, this has been about a week ago, within a week's time. I went to go pick up one because mine passed away. I drove 3 hours to do it. So I came back, she was skittish, just like they were saying. Oh, we tried to work with her, we got on the leash, this, that, and the other. That went on for about 2 days. That third day, she disappeared. Okay, she come loose. So my son and I tried to figure out which way she went. You're looking for, we got 27 acres where we can't find the dog. In my head, she's gonna get hit by a car. So I left, I had an appointment. I left to go down the street and I seen a dog that looked like her, dead. And I thought, oh my God, I think that's her. So I called my son and I told him, I think that's her down there. So anyway, I went to my appointment, came back, looked, it wasn't her. I had a healer and that was a pit bull, but she was dead. A whole week later, I'm coming down, another appointment. It's 3 dogs in the same spot. And they sitting at the end of this man's driveway. And I knew it wasn't his dogs because the gate was closed. I come back through, they were gone. So I don't know if somebody picked them up to save them or what, but my thought was to get the dog one to get back. I said that to say this. It's a problem. Can y'all help us? Yeah. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that's all who've signed up this evening to speak.
Thank you all for coming forth and telling us your side of it. We appreciate that. Item number 5, new business. Next on the agenda this evening is for the board to consider the approval of funding of the sheriff's office request to purchase new laptops for vehicles. Dr. Ledbetter?
Yes, sir. I'd like to
Sheriff's here.
make an appeal. I think the sheriff's here with us this evening, but I would like to make an appeal on behalf of the sheriff. The computers that are currently inside of the vehicle, Microsoft has in the way that they do business, stopped supporting Windows 10. They are requiring us to move to Windows 11. And as a result of that, we are in a position, I believe the sheriff, you had filled out paperwork for a grant for this.
Yes.
Using Mr. Wallace, and unfortunately those grant funds have not matured yet.
We can't get an update on them. Nobody has, from any law enforcement agency I know of, has had an update on it.
So we're in a position where we are at the end of life for Windows 10, and the sheriff is in need of updating these computers for the vehicles to continue the support of our community. We do have the monies available to us through fund balance. It will not impact us severely for this purchase, but staff would make a recommendation to move forward with the approval of this purchase.
At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the proposal to purchase the specialty computers at a cost of $199,000.
So I think the sheriff has something.
Oh,
we have some updated numbers. We did a couple of things along the way to see if we could cut that cost down. One of the things that we did was we looked at what kind of insurance coverage we had on them, and we had damage insurance on them in case they were damaged, catastrophic damage. Well, there's only been 2 times in the last 5 years that that's been used, so we cut that out. That saved $43,200 right there. Yeah. The other thing that we did is we went ahead out of funds that we had, and we purchased 24 computers for $59,880. So we cut $103,000 from that.
Thank you.
So what we are needing right now is $139,720, and that will cover the entire thing. And if and when that grant comes in, that money will be returned back to Spalding County out of that grant.
Thank you. All right, do I have a motion to do 139,720?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Reggie, thank you. Sheriff, this gets brought up a lot, not just in this county, but in others. And we're so proactive in so many ways, not just with our court, but I know you're out there really killing it and looking for not having to be told what to do, but how do we proactively approach. Like if you look at this picture, there's a special provision in the distracted driving law that says that police officers are exempt. But it's not only is it not a good look when, they're stopped at a red light and you see them on Facebook. And I'm not saying I've seen that here, but I have seen it. Is there a way that can be on standby until they need it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think there should be we should be proactive here on that.
Well, a lot of times when the MDTs are open, they get alerts through the MDTs.
Okay.
It stops them from having to log back in, log back off. If they turn the computers off, then they have to go back through the whole reboot process, go back in again, do everything, logging back in, and that delays stuff. We do as much as we can to mitigate a lot of that stuff, but still, it happens. It's going to happen. Even with the phones, it does happen. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it doesn't. It does. But there's a lot of stuff that we do on those computers in the cars while they're up. They can run tags and things like that while they're moving if they have to, while they're sitting in a stop sign if they have to. They can get information over those lookouts and things like that. It can respond to messages. Sometimes there are calls that they get that, because of the way scanners and things are now, people can monitor with apps on their phone.
Yeah.
So they do almost like a silent dispatch thing sometimes on somebody who may be in a mental crisis or something like that. They can get it out on these. Closing them down does just like you do at home when you shut the lid on yours. It requires us to log back in, and it just takes time, and it actually is more of a distraction having to do that.
That's what I was saying. Like, is there a way to put it in standby? Or I've seen on like airplanes, they put a screen on them so that if you're not looking directly at it,
right,
you can't see it at all. I'm not saying that they're not a use, but is there an SOP that the department has that says that this is only for? You see what I'm saying? Like,
we have SOPs that cover usage as far as what is and is not allowed. We have that it will be kept to a minimum as far as the time that the computers and phones are used while they're moving, unless it is an emergency or they're gaining information about a call as they go forward. So we do have policies in place to stop a lot of that.
Okay. Look, I have to brag on our sheriff every chance I get. And criminal defense attorneys don't do that normally. But, someone will come in and they'll say, man, these officers, I'll look through a discovery and go, this was Spalding County. You don't even have to tell me. This was done right. It was Spalding County. And my guess is almost always right. A lot of times I'll go, man, this is the shoddiest, and it's never Spalding County. So I just, again, kudos to you. My hat's off to you.
It's a good group of people that work out there, and they do a great job. They really do.
When citizens here tell me now that the sheriff is enforcing the law in the city limits as well, we haven't heard gunshots anymore. That makes me proud. That makes me proud of you.
Thank you.
All right, you done?
Yeah.
Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Next on the agenda passed. Next on the agenda this evening is for the board to consider the approval of funding to consider approving of funds for the sheriff's office to install a generator at the jail. This is a reimbursement grant with the county responsible for $77,000, and the total project is for $396,455. The initial request is for the county to begin the work is $100,000. Dr. Ledbetter or Sheriff?
We were very fortunate that in last year, we applied for a federal grant. It came through in May of this year. The total amount of the grant was $379,197, which $284,000 of that was federal, $37,000 was state, and a $56,000 local. The local increased by $20,000 because of the time of the grant application, a year and a half after that. So we have been awarded that. The generator that we are replacing the building was built around it. There's no way to get it out. It fails, it does not test. So we have times during storms when we have power outages where there is no power in the jail at all, period. So it creates a danger for the inmates, it creates a danger for the employees. The current generator is also diesel, so we have to keep diesel on hand. The generator that we have been awarded in this grant is a 500 kilowatt generator that's powered by natural gas. It'll be carried directly to it. It's strong enough to power the entire facility, both detention and the administrative side. And that $379,000 from that grant, that also covers the complete installation turnkey. That is everything. We have also applied for an additional $20,000 to go along with this grant, but just like with the other grant, we haven't heard anything out of that yet, and there's possibly as much as a 90 to a 120 day lead time on that. We had two companies come out and look at it. Anderson was the one that said they could do the job, and as of June 25, we have signed the letter to receive it. What they need is the initial $100,000 to actually place the order. They won't place the order for the generator without the $100,000 up front. And again, just like on the other one, that money will be reimbursed to the county through these grant funds.
Now, they're the installer. It's not Generac that's installing. They're just buying it from Generac, right?
Right. It is this generator, from my understanding, is about the size of a tractor trailer.
Oh yeah.
It's huge. So I don't know exactly where it's coming from, but it's monstrous. It'll be outside on its own concrete pad, and it'll take care of everything we need it to take care of. And it will also be an asset for the county. It becomes property of the county. So.
I always just kind of think shop local. Did anyone reach out to Caterpillar? I know that they make this exact thing.
I don't know if we reached out to Caterpillar or not. They make them, but they don't install them.
Sure. You'd have to go to Anderson.
Yeah, we were looking for one-stop shop to do everything to help make the process easier.
At this time, do I have a motion to approve the proposal to purchase the generator with the understanding that the county is only responsible for 20% of the total?
So moved.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Great job, Sheriff.
All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries. Thank you, wonderful Sheriff. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Saw Judge out earlier. Where'd he go?
Yes, he's out there.
Not anymore.
He was.
He was.
Next on the agenda this evening is for the board to consider the approval of the 2026 Juvenile Justice Incentive Grant in the amount of $130,000. This is our annual grant for our juvenile court. I saw the judge out here earlier.
There she is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now I see you. Thank you. David was in the way. All right, Larry.
Good evening, Chair Davis, Commissioners, Dr. Ledbetter. I bring before you tonight a request to accept a grant award from the Georgia Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. Spalding County has been awarded $130,000 through the Juvenile Justice Incentive Grant Program for our Thinking for a Change initiative. The grant will fund an evidence-based cognitive behavioral intervention program for at-risk youth in our community. The program targets youth ages 11 to 17 who score medium to high on risk assessments. Specifically, there were about 30 youth in our community who most needed a structured intervention. Our application was supported by compelling data. Last year, 36 youth were committed to DJJ. There were 50 instances of secure detention and 68 adjudicated offenses processed through our juvenile court. The grant agreement requires us to begin programming and complete the program by June 30th, 2026. We must also submit quarterly progress reports and detailed documentation of program outcomes and expenditures on a quarterly basis. The program will serve approximately 100 youth over the grant period at a cost of $2,500 per participant, which is significantly lower than the cost of detention. It aims to achieve non-recidivism rates of at least 55% and program completion rates of 75%. We've secured community partnerships with the Griffin Spalding County School District and One Flesh Mentoring and Coaching as our primary service provider. This is a 100% grant-funded program, meaning no county match is required. I recommend that the board accept this grant award, and also will take a moment to hear from Judge Ashman if she has comments.
Good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
I didn't know I was speaking this evening, but I do want to thank the county for all the support. Also, we have David Johnson, who's here, who's been facilitating a program with the court, and we spoke about it previously. He sacrificed his time, his monies, and his resources to support our youth through a court program that he calls Program Ignite, and it's been extremely successful through the court. This has been a grant program that Mr. Wallace has worked on to merge the two, to give Mr. Johnson some funding and also help our community. So we certainly support both efforts and want to thank the commissioners and the county for all of its support.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the acceptance of the grant award in the amount of $130,000. There is no matching funds for this grant.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I have a question.
You go for it.
Go ahead, Ms.
When I asked about this grant earlier, I thought I heard someone say that this was a regular grant. This is a new grant, right?
This is a new grant.
I thought this was a grant that we had previously had from several years ago.
I think that's for David's
No,
program.
this is a new one.
Oh, that's for David's program? Okay, please
Spalding,
forgive me. I apologize.
was never a recipient of this grant.
All right, thank you.
So my question is when you talk about what the end criteria is that, 55% reduced recidivism rate. I guess for me, I want to know where does that number come from?
It comes from the stats that we actually use to write the grant. And so the numbers I provided to you for you, there were 36 youth committed to DJJ last year. So the goal of the grant is to make sure ultimately none of them go back. But being realistic, we hope that the program will at least make sure that half of those students don't reoffend or have to be sent into DJJ. And so those are preliminary numbers to start. And so this grant is also subject to a continuation award. So we'll be able to do this year after year, provided that we are meeting some goals of the grant.
So I guess for me, and maybe it's in the grant, because I'm, the devil's always in the details, and I'm very grateful that you've done that. I'm just, I'm just wondering, is this going to be for offenders who have been incarcerated, or is this going to be preemptive for people who are headed toward incarceration?
For the second group, essentially it's for those, to make sure that we do not send youth into DJJ custody.
Okay, all right, that's what I wanted to know.
James?
I just want to say, and pat David on the back, and because he doesn't shout himself out enough. But if we had 1,000 more men like David active in our community, we wouldn't have a crime problem. We wouldn't have a gang problem. We need more people to step up and be like him.
Absolutely.
Period.
All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Motion carries. Thank you, Larry. Next on the agenda is for the board to consider an amplification permit for 2143 Blanton Mill Road, Memorial Campout on August 1st, 2025 from 1 p.m. until midnight. Community Development Director, Alan.
Yes, good evening. The applicant is Ms. Hurd, who also spoke about dogs a few minutes ago in the citizen comments. This is at 2143 Blanton Mill Road, 27-acre AR1 zone property. She's basically proposing to have a memorial camp out on August 1st and August 2nd, 1 o'clock in the afternoon to midnight on both days. So obviously the campers from the first night would be there the next morning and stay through that day as well. Asked Miss Hurd how many people she was expecting there as far as campers. She said 30 to 50 maximum on this. Staff had recommended denial on this, and it's nothing against Miss Hurd. We have had some controversy with campground uses and things of that nature since I've been here. So I did not want to set a precedent as far as having a place to camp on a regular basis. The board may disagree, but I'm a little reluctant due to the controversy surrounding campground type uses in the past.
What's the amplification for? I mean, I've camped well over 1,000 nights. I don't know.
Yes.
If I've ever had a microphone at one of them.
Speaking of the microphone, we're recording.
Sorry. I have done it twice, and it was a holiday thing, and it may have been maybe 20 campers, if that. And we ride horses, so some of them are horse traded with living quarters. It's more of a horse thing. It's all on property, but I had an incident with the first year. It was a breast cancer function, and somebody apparently, I didn't know nothing about the noise permit and none of that, but I had a lady that was, I'm assuming it was a lady, the commissioner. I ended up with the commissioner's phone number in my pocket on speed dial. And at 9 o'clock each night, she complained about noise, but the police would come out there each night between 9 and 9:15, and they would come on the back porch, which is where the music was, and they said that they didn't hear anything, but we got a call. So that happened that Friday night and that Saturday night, and each time it happened, the commissioner said to give them a call. Anyway, that Monday, they had a meeting or whatever, and the police officers said that they came out there, but they didn't hear anything. So the commissioner told me not to worry about it. So the next time I had one, it was for a holiday function, and it was the same thing. At 9 o'clock, here we go. So I had somebody come this last, it was a weekend before Thanksgiving, and that Monday they came. So he said to my son that they thought I had an event center at my house. I live here. My mother's 81. She lives there. My son is 27. He lives there. There's no event center. It's just something that I choose to do on my property. I got flat land. We have horses. We can put the horses in the back. But either way it go, the commissioner ended up saying that first year, that second year, it's obviously you're being harassed because the person didn't want to come forward. This time I was told, the man that said that it was written that I had an event center. He says, obviously you don't have that. He looked at my Facebook, social media. He says, obvious, that's not what the case is. He said, just go get your notice permit and everything should be fine. And that's what I did. And then they told me to send something out to every neighbor. I did that. I've done everything that's been asked to do. But other than music, and I can always turn the music down if it's that kind of deal. But I've had birthday parties and the music was at 7. No police ever came at all. So unless they know what's going on, I think last year in November, we had the little music in the little fire pit or whatever in the front yard. That's it. That's the reason they knew. But if it's in my backyard and I keep the music at 7, I ain't needed a noise permit. I've been there 4 years. So the only thing I can think of is the music. But I'm just going by what the guy that came to the house, what he suggested that I do in order to be able to enjoy my property with my friends. And it's a memorial. My best friend passed away. We rode horses together and we camped together. And that's what I'm trying to do.
I'd like to make a motion to approve, but only instead of from 1 p.m. to midnight, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m.
So you don't need permission to go to 9 p.m.
Unless it's longer than 5 hours.
5 hours.
Okay.
You're
So
talking
what
about the actual activities, not the camping itself.
Now,
She
this
can,
is
she
just
can have
for
her
the
friends
amp-
over to camp.
Right,
She
they
doesn't need
can
our
camp
permission
on
for
her
that.
property. That's her property. She can
This is
do
just
what
for
she
the
wants
amplification.
to.
Yeah.
But in terms of the noise, she's asking for amplification for the next day as well. So
Is it-
we're
is it both
saying,
days?
no, you can have music, but no amplified music after 9 o'clock at night. And then the next morning, from whatever time in the morning.
She was asking again, that would be the next agenda item. It's again from 1 PM until midnight is her request.
And this is technically two application
It would
permits, so
be
we need two votes.
two applications.
All right,
That's
I'll
correct.
make the same motion till 9 for the next one then too.
Okay.
Are you seconding that?
I say.
Okay, so 1 to 9.
Yep.
1 to 9. All
As
right,
far as noise amplification.
Yeah, the amplification.
Just
yeah.
the
She doesn't need our
amplification,
permission
yes.
to have her friends come over and camp.
all right. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries. All right,
And I'll make the same motion from 1 to 9 for the next application as well.
all right, I have a motion on the August 2nd. Do I have a second?
I second it.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0, both those carry. Thank you, David. Next on the agenda this evening is for the board to consider an amplification permit for 1405 North McDonough Road, a rodeo on August 1st from 4 PM till 10 PM. Mr. Allen?
Yes, sir. This is also a 2-day event. It's not an overnight event, but it's at Union Baptist Church at 1405 North McDonough Road. You may have seen some flyers or banners about it, about town. It's a yellow banner. It's basically from 4 to 10 PM on the church property. They have a fence there where they will be conducting the rodeo at this area. The banners say from 7:30 to 4, so the 4 to 7:30, probably a lot of prep work and setup going on there. The event itself would last to 10 PM both evenings, August 1st and August 2nd. I did confirm with the secretary there at the church, it's not overnight accommodations, but they will be conducting the rodeo both evenings. So,
Your recommendation?
approval.
It's the same group that came and did it at the Kiwanis Center last year, I think, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
Not sure.
Isn't that it's the same group?
Patrick Kennard is here if you'd like to ask him any questions.
So I have a problem with us approving at 10 o'clock when we just told somebody else that they can't have amplification after 9 o'clock in their yard.
Yeah, I do too.
And they're out in the country and this is surrounded by.
So yeah,
I think
Totally.
9 o'clock is
Yeah.
the right answer. You have any objection? Okay,
It's up to y'all.
all right. Who made the motion?
Nobody.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve from 4 to 9?
So move.
Can I have a second?
does this cover both days?
I think it's just one day. It's August 1st, right?
No, he said it's gonna be 2 days.
There's
Two
two
days.
agenda items.
Just,
Oh, it's two.
again, yes, sir.
So this is we're just allowing, this is the rodeo that the county, I guess, had each year. We have 34 acres in our arena. And so last year they asked us, because it would just be a more suitable event center for them with our 34 acres. And so we're just allowing them to use our property, and we applied for the permit on their behalf. The gates actually don't open until 5:30. And the rodeo starts at 7:30 and it runs till 9:30, and then it's over at 9:30. So if it's only approved to 9, I don't know what they'll do.
Pastor Kennard, I think the way that I understood the motion is the amplification would be good until 9, but the event could continue until everybody left the property.
Yeah, they just have to turn the music
You
off.
just have to turn the amplification off.
Okay, so what does that do with announce? Because there won't be any music. It's just going to be announcing the riders and that's the amplification. It's going to be them announcing.
I think that's
the
much
riders.
different than the base we were talking about earlier. If we're talking about somebody saying the next rider up is John Jones and the winner is and stuff like that.
Right, but there's no difference in this application
Oop,
than the
I
one
got
we just
that.
approved.
Yep.
So if we allow them to be able to go longer, we need to allow the other applicant to be able to go longer.
agree. And the other one, the one we just approved was out in the country, and look at the map. It's surrounded by houses. I'm not mad or upset or have anything against the rodeo or the church, but,
I mean, we have approved up to 10 o'clock at night. I just think we need to be consistent, and if we decide to allow this application for whatever reasons, we need to go back and give the other applicant permission to continue until 10. I mean, we have to be consistent.
Right.
I think there is a difference between music, I'll get on this microphone, between music and like announcing a rodeo.
So I'm sitting around the campfire and I got the music going. I'm not trying to let the horses dance. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know that they're out there doing the cowboy Carter line dance or they got music blasting, but when I'm in that kind of situation with friends, we're not trying to blast the music to whatever. So I'm, like I said, I think they're both good things. We don't have a history of anything being untowards, but we need to be consistent in how we make these decisions.
We're talking about changing beyond 9 o'clock, aren't we? Right now, we don't have a time. I'm looking.
Your time,
Starts at 9.
you have a time in your noise ordinance, yes.
Is it 9 o'clock?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Which is why these permits are required for anything.
Because if they
past
want
9
anything past
o'clock.
it, because we've approved them, to 11 and 12 before.
Mr. Allen could.
But
could
just be
approve them for less than
consistent is
5
all I
hours
say.
If they're not going, if they're only going to 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and what we just approved was for more than 5 hours of music. This, if we only approve this to 9 o'clock, we approved nothing. He doesn't need our approval to play from 5:30 to 9. You know what I mean? So he's coming for
Beyond.
extra time.
Right, that's what the other candidate came for, was extra time.
No,
I
no.
mean, I'm not saying either one of them are bad, I'm just saying we need to be consistent.
So
And
the-
it's very blaring that this is two different, we shouldn't be looking at this as two separate incidences or
This is just
situations.
So the last one was, so there's 2 qualifications that require a vote from us. One is if it's longer than 5 hours or if it's after 9. The last one was for longer than 5 hours. This one is for after 9. So, you do look at turning left and turning right as 2 different things. Those are 2 different things. And so one is asking for an exception to go. They're asking for an hour, but he's saying it ends at 9:30. So it's really asking for 30 minutes over the time, but not a length exception. The other one was asking for a length exception. So we approved a length exception. Here, they're now asking for 30 minutes.
No, we didn't approve a length exception because she can have an event, the lady could have an event in her yard regardless. She was asking for amplification permission from noon until, was it 10 at night or?
Midnight. 1 to midnight.
From 1 to midnight. So the fact that she's asking for amplification is what she was asking for.
Right.
The same thing that they're asking for. They're not asking us to have the event.
So the two reasons people have to ask us for amplification permits is if they're going to have amplified music or sound longer than 5 hours in a block or after 9 p.m. So hers was 1 to midnight, and so she was asking for both after 9 p.m. and longer than 5 hour block. We only gave her the longer than 5 hour block, and as she said when she came up, that it was sort of a courtesy. She's like, look, last time there's somebody who's mad at me, but when the cops came, they didn't hear anything. So, but she wants to check all of her boxes this time. So that we approved for the longer than 5 hour block. This is not asking for a longer than 5 hour block, which is one of the 2 reasons they would have to come before us. They're asking for an extension beyond 9 p.m. That's really what this is an extension beyond 9 p.m. And so we can, just like they said, we're opening the gates at 5:30, so we can do amplification from 5:30 to 9:30. That's a 5 hour block, so they don't need approval for that because it's just 5 hours.
No, they do need approval if it's after 9 o'clock at night.
So again, my sentences make more sense when they're finished.
Okay.
So there's a 5 hour block that they don't need approval for. However, because it's 5:30 to 9:30, that's a 5 hour block that includes 30 minutes beyond our time. So what this is asking us for specifically is 30 minutes of approval, whereas the other one was asking for a longer time period. You see the two classifications? We approved one for this classification. This one wants 30 extra minutes on the back end, but not a longer time period.
So now that you've finished that thought, again, she does not have to have permission to have amplification before 9 o'clock at night.
She does if it's longer than 5 hours.
No, she doesn't.
Stephanie?
According to the ordinance, Mr. Allen can approve it if it is less than 5 hours.
Right, if the event is less than 5 hours. If it's longer than 5 hours, it has to come
It
to
has
us.
to come before you for approval of the
But
amplification.
if she is in her own house for amplification, you're still saying she cannot be on her property and have music on her property?
Not amplified music for more than 5 hours or after 9 o'clock.
Okay. I'll make a motion. I make a motion to, which item is it?
6.
Number 6.
I make a motion to, approve the request for amplification, at the address at, Pastor Connor's church until 9 p.m.
I second.
Any more discussion? This is,
So this is a denial of what they're asking for.
No, this is no action if there's a
Yeah, that's
second vote.
I don't
If
want to have
there's-
a no action.
So if this passes, it's still a denial because David can give them approval without having to come to us for that time.
They would just have to turn the loudspeakers off, the announcements off at 9.
I'm just wondering what part of this board does she sit on?
I'm sorry?
Just talking.
Okay. I don't want to get into a 2-2 vote, no action for 1 August.
Because it's still that.
Yeah. So,
So if we approve or deny, he still has to turn his music off at 9. You hearing what I'm saying?
yes.
So we're not doing anything
Yes, we don't have
either
to-
way. If it's a 2-2, if it's a 4 no or 4 yes,
Or if it's,
approving this to 9 still does nothing. That's
if
what
it's
I'm putting
4
out.
if it's 4 to 9, it doesn't need to come to us.
Right. So if we approve 4 to 9, that was nothing. Like that. So if we fail 4 to 9, that's nothing. Like it's. So the motion does
Yeah,
nothing.
I think if we
vote it
over
yes or vote it down.
David, if we voted over David, he doesn't have a choice on it to do that. So. All right, so
So you have a motion and a second.
Give a motion on the floor, Mr. Chair.
all right, all those in favor of allowing it, for the motion, raise your hand. What?
The motion was to
Approve till 9.
approve to 9.
Tonight.
Okay.
All right. 3, motion to deny 1. We got to get better at this. Okay, we got the exact same motion on the next night. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the second request on August 2nd for amplification up until 9 o'clock at night.
I second.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 3, all opposed, like sign. 1, motion carries.
Again, I'm voting no because it's an illusory vote. I just want to
Yeah,
point that out.
we see it.
We
It hadn't
understand.
been brought to us, so I would have kicked it out earlier. Next on the agenda this evening is for the board to consider a contract of building inspections and building permits for Spalding County Community Development. Director Allen?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you to the commissioners for your time in considering this updated contract for Charles Abbott for building inspection services and plan review services. I did review the minutes from almost exactly this time last year with concerns and questions that the board had at that time about the services, and I did submit to you, the board, a letter addressing the concerns and questions, I believe. I would like to recommend this for approval. In my 11 months at Spalding County, they have been nothing but professional, efficient, and knowledgeable about their services, and I would like to continue. It will be a significant hindrance to my department if it did not continue with the inspectors and plan reviewers we have right now.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I have a question, if you want it.
We need to get a motion and a second, then a discussion.
Wasn't there talk of tabling this? No, we don't, but we don't want to do that, right? Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it for the purpose of discussion.
Thank you.
Okay, so my concern is that we've recently just hired a quote-unquote junior planner. We've just hired a senior planner. What is it that they're gonna be doing that Charles Abbott is doing that they can't do? I'm not understanding.
Everything structural, every inspection, every structural aspect of a plan review with buildings only.
But isn't that what the planner is supposed to do as a plan review, especially a senior planner?
Just as far as the layout and setbacks and parking and things, yes, but not the actual structural aspects of it.
I think one's inside, one's outside. One guy is the planner and the planner 1 and 2. They're looking at plans, working. The plans that we're talking about with Charles Abbott is physically going out and looking at the ground. Did they do this? Is the wall here? Did they do those kinds of things?
That's something even I'm not qualified to
So
do.
you're saying they are just doing inspection, but that is not what they've been doing in the past.
Correct.
They
have one person who does building inspections.
They have many people that do building inspections and several people that do structural plan review. When I get a permit in, our office as a planner, I look at certain aspects of it. They look at certain aspects of it too, the structural, actual building it, the engineering, the type of concrete used, so on and so forth, the framing, all of that. There's 2 components to a plan review, and they look at the structural part.
So yeah, before we got Charles Abbott, we had somebody in-house that was doing it. That's what I don't understand why it is we just hired 2 new people in planning.
We had Nova doing it and other.
I understand nobody was doing it, and that's how we got Charles Abbott. I'm just trying to understand why we're fixing to spend this money. And my thought process was that hiring these 2 planners was going to take some of the pressure off of everything that they're doing other than inspections.
And they have.
Because if they're just doing building inspections, you said they're doing plan review.
They're doing a structural aspect of plan review and building inspections, yes.
So maybe I just don't understand what that is, because what is the planner? What are the planners supposed to be doing?
Planners help me with zoning, with land use, all the various things with the zoning meetings we're about to have. We do not deal with, just like we have Croy Engineering for certain structural reviews of plans that we're not qualified to do. We have a building official that we're not qualified to do what they do in terms of inspections for structural items and plan review for structural items.
So when we used to have an inspector, I can't think of the name of the guy, one of the last ones we had, he didn't do this. He didn't do this stuff that you're talking about. So who was doing it then?
Which inspector?
In-house person?
He was, yes, one of the last inspectors that we had. He retired.
That was William, wasn't it?
Oh, it was when William was here. But my point is that they were the building inspectors for the entire time, my first decade here. So,
And after that, we contracted with Charles Abbott and
Correct.
then with Nova.
Correct.
And now we've contracted with Charles Abbott again.
Correct.
so, but we stopped contracting with Charles Abbott because Charles Abbott stopped delivering during COVID and shortly thereafter. So my point is that I'm not understanding what our plan, we just hired 2 new people. I'm not understanding why we're gonna pay somebody to do something that our planners should be able to do.
I'm not qualified, none of the planners are qualified to do what they do.
The inspection side,
structural basis.
our planners are not qualified to do the inspection side of the equation.
There is a
But what about the
liability.
plan review part of it?
They are doing plan reviews, they are, but they're not doing engineering plan reviews. So there are certain components of a plan review that require a PE engineer to sign off on to make sure that they are doing the qualified work that a PE engineer is capable of doing. Our planners do, even the senior planners and even our architect, because David is a architect, landscape architect, please forgive me, I'll make sure I get it correctly. He is capable of doing a lot of the plan reviews to make sure that our landscape is correct, that that he's adhering all of the plans to the ordinances, that is correct. That takes a considerable amount of time. The senior planner and the junior planner are both doing that work now with all that we've got coming to us, but they are not qualified to do the inspections in the field. And I don't know that they will be anytime soon.
No, I mean, I
It's-
get it. Inspections in the field is what the inspector is supposed to be
It's a
doing.
huge
Correct.
liability.
But I'm talking about all
yes.
the other extra stuff that they were doing.
No, our team is working very diligently to take that load off of any outside firm so that we can keep that work in-house and save money for our community.
You also, the Abbott also does building permit sign off.
They sign off on, along with me, they sign off on the CO. Again, they inspect the structural aspects of something to make sure it's safe. They
And
incur
somebody
all-
comes in and says, building a house. And we talk about, how much money,
For the impact fees.
the impact fees. Charles Abbott does that for us.
They are working with us to do that, but
all right, a permit comes in, let's say for a new house. There is, actually 3 aspects of it that need to be reviewed. The utility side of it is like a water tap. The water department reviews that. Myself and the planners review make sure the house is the right size, the setbacks are good, things of that nature on the zoning related matter. Charles Abbott does the structural part, the footings, the framing, the roof, all that incurs a great deal of liability that we're not qualified to do, they do. So all that goes into one plan review for one structure.
And then the person who's trying to get the house done comes and talks to a Charles Abbott person who says it's $1,300 or whatever.
They deal with our permit techs and planners on that. They don't deal with the money side of it. They deal with the structural part, which is a great, huge liability, and they incur that, so.
Okay. All right.
This is standard practice with every city and county.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 3, all opposed, like sign, 1.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next on the agenda is the appointment of the 4th of July Ad hoc Committee. I believe the county manager has provided us with a suggested list.
I did, yes, sir. I believe I sent that out to the commissioners over the course of the last week. My position is that the executive committee should be comprised of approximately 13 members. Co-chairs that would include a member of the Spalding County Board of Commissioners and a member from the City of Griffin Council, a project director to oversee the day-to-day operations and reports to the co-chairs, and then a District 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rep from the county, and similarly representatives from the city. But that is only a suggestion or a recommendation.
Look, when I was part of the group that moved the parades back downtown, and it was pull your hair out work. Like it was.
This is a really
So,
big deal. This is
whoever
going to be
wants
the
to take this on,
250th anniversary of the country.
Well, it's the 250th anniversary of the country for America, and it's the 175th anniversary for the founding of Spalding County.
So one of the issues, are we approving members? I.e., I thought I had to come up with a member.
I would prefer that you come up with a member, yes, sir.
All right. I believe I have
Tonight?
done,
Well,
I mean, eventually.
I believe,
Sooner rather than later.
Tanya, we have, you have my list for this, right? Okay, I've sent and each of you have to send in a person. Okay, all right, enough on that.
So, the people that, okay, you said somebody from each district. There's 7 districts in the city, 5 in the county, which is not that big of a deal. But don't we need somebody with some expertise?
That would be excellent.
I'm just,
So
you
pick
know,
somebody.
The person
Expertise, I don't know.
just so you know, the person I'm picking to go onto that is our lifestyle director for Sun City. She brings in bands, she brings in all of that stuff.
Cool.
She sets up, she does the stuff that goes out in the press. She does all of that stuff for us. I asked her to be able to come
I
through.
mean, yeah, definitely.
So that's
and
who
we'll
I
have
have
to figure
picked.
out how to get money unless the city and the county agrees to fund this, whenever we figure out what that is gonna be.
So everybody, do you need approval of that?
Actually, once we get the members, I would very much appreciate if you would take a look and make recommendations back or corrections back to the plan that we put out as a recommendation so that we can move this forward.
All right, everybody, next meeting,
Okay.
have between now and then, have it ready to go.
Your list.
Okay,
Just one person.
one person from each of the 5 of us.
They have to be in Spalding County, but not necessarily in our district, just have to be Spalding County. Ideally, but.
Yes, if you
Yeah.
wanted to do somebody, yes. You have to have somebody, doesn't have to be in your district.
It's
but
not-
yeah. Next on the agenda this evening is for the board to appoint members to the Behavioral Health Committee. I believe I have, Tanya, I want to make sure I have mine to you. All right, same thing. Once again, everybody owes one name to
I
be
have
able.
my one name.
Okay, send it on to her in the
Tanya.
form,
Okay.
and mine is sitting here with us, so that's a good news story. So thank you, Nicole. All right.
But that should be mine. Didn't mine?
You gonna steal my purse?
Technically, I believe Ms. Gwen would be excluded from making a recommendation since she is sitting as chair for this committee, so.
Okay, that's even better.
They work out.
Okay.
They work out perfect.
Wait, have we done all the committees? We're done with the next one?
A non-voting member.
Yes. that is-
Next, all right, so you basically owe 3 people.
Okay.
You owe the 4th of July for next year, you owe a behavioral health person, and you owe a,
No, just 2.
Just two.
no, there's one more.
Oh, the naming committee.
Naming
yes.
committee.
Ah.
So you owe 3 people to be able to do it.
Committee.
All right, so come up with the 3 names, pass them in before 4 August.
Did I turn any names in here?
What do we name?
You gave a name, but we need the. Okay, I just did the naming committee person. I didn't get the rest of.
Phone number.
Okay, I don't have to do one for them.
The street name for the person, the 50-year person. So, all right. Next on the agenda this evening is the board to appoint a member to the 2025 ACCG Legislative Liaison Conference as the voting delegate. I've been doing that, and I would like to continue to do that.
Mr. Chairman, I would love it if you would volunteer to do that again.
Thank you.
Is
Do
that
that
your
need to be a
recommendation?
motion? That
Yes,
is my
please.
recommendation. It can be a motion.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Thank you. Next on the agenda this evening is the board to appoint someone to fill the unexpired term of David Johnson for the Griffin Spalding Area Transportation Committee, GSATC. I would like to take a moment to say thank you to David Johnson for serving in this role. He is a valued member of our community, and his work does so with mentoring program is second to none.
He's still
I don't
here?
believe we have anybody in the book.
He is such a slacker. Why is he giving up his?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Want to
Bad
make
bad.
sure he was gone.
All right, well, everybody, think through it. We have one name. We'll send it to Tanya for the next meeting, and we'll pick a person to be able to do it.
Do we have one name already?
No, we have no names in
Okay.
the book. All right. Next, finally, is the report from the county manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I won't take long this evening. Work on Jackson Road by E.R. Snell continues. There's much work yet to be done. Please continue to give some grace to the contractors who are working to improve this road for our community, and also know that they are working over the weekends over the next few weeks to satisfy the restructuring and rebuilding of this road. So a lot of grace would be much appreciated. The Aquatic Center Therapeutic Pool is open, and I would just like to report that we have received several very complimentary emails today for that work. I do want to share that staff, both TJ and Kelly, are working very hard with the contractor who is taking care of the pool to make sure that we've got a very robust cleaning program in play for both pools that we have. They're working with the new staff that's over there to make sure that we've got all of our lifeguards working to help keep our community clean with respect to the two pools. We've also made some inquiries on how we can, over the course of the next couple of months, find programming time so that we can close the area down for a couple of hours every week to do a very deep cleaning of the facility on a very regular basis, and that work will be updated over the next course of months for you guys to consider. We have a Board of Commissioners zoning public hearing meeting scheduled for Thursday evening this week. There's also a special called meeting at 5 o'clock for us to review changes to our ordinances in response to the work that we've got going on. This 5 o'clock meeting is for us to have a discussion only on those ordinances before we get into the main meeting, as there are currently some 20 items that are on the agenda for Thursday night. So we expect that that could take a little bit of time for us to work through. Any voting by the Board of Commissioners will be done at a regular meeting, not at the workshop. Mr. Chair, that's all I have this evening.
Deputy County Manager?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be really brief. I just wanted to let everybody know that staff has revamped the collection center schedule. Tanya, were you able to load that picture? Yeah. Okay. Just real quick, all of the, wait a minute. That's okay. All of the signs are now, for the new schedule, are now posted at each of the collection sites. The only days that the centers are closed are Sunday and Wednesday. We are still staggering the actual stations that are open. So like on Monday, Carver and Woodruff are open, but they'll be open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Tuesday, Blaylock and Cabin from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Everyone is closed on Wednesday. Thursday, Carver and Woodruff from 11 to 7. Friday, Blaylock and Cabin are open from 11 to 7. And then Saturday, all centers will be open from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. And Aiken is still only accepting bulky items on Saturday. If you have any questions, feel free to call the Public Works Department. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Everybody, please pay attention to that. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're looking at the bingo chart. They can't understand it. This is a much simpler chart to be able to do it, and it accomplishes what we wanted to accomplish as far as budget issues go. So thank you to everybody for getting this so people can understand it. Commissioner Watts?
Yes, Nicole Green, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing in this community. You make our job easier, so thank you. And I also wanted to give the community, let the community know to go out to the Legacy Museum. We was able to go out there for the grand opening. It was so nice. So I encourage the community to go out and participate.
Thank you. Commissioner Flowers-Taylor?
Yes, I would like to ask Steve if he could find out for us why they are not utilizing the shade structures that are in the aquatic center. There's no place to sit outside. There's multiple picnic type tables, but there are no umbrellas up on a daily basis, and it's pretty hot.
Yes, ma'am, will do.
So,
And we had umbrellas out there. We have
They-
umbrellas for
They
them.
are there.
It's
They
just
are
a
there.
matter of we're not
Yes.
putting, okay,
That's correct.
okay, different issue. Okay, thank you. All right.
I also wanted to say that the Our Legacy Museum, marker, installment was very, very educational. It just amazes me, but not so much amazes me because so many people were here tonight talking about how much they take of their personal, income and time to take care of animals. And I think that when people do that, they invest into the community. And, you know, it's the same with us and everything that we're trying to do, to make sure that the investments that we make are prudent and that they, you know, we get the biggest bang for the bucks. But, yeah, I'm just glad that people felt that they could come here and share what their concerns are. You know, we don't have to agree with everything, but certainly, I didn't get the letter from the one lady who said she sent a 23-page letter. I can't promise you I'm gonna read 23 pages, but I will try to read the majority of it. But I appreciate the gentleman coming up and sharing. This is not a Board of Commissioners problem. This is not an animal control problem. This is a residential problem. When you see people raising animals in a pen next door to you, you know they don't have a license to sell them. You see somebody having a litter of puppies or cats, and then the next day they don't have them. We need to pay attention. So, and what I would love to see happen, I'm not saying that this is the absolute cause of it, but we have so many puppy mills
Yes.
and hoarding cases in this county that when they are criminal, we have to give them priority to come into the shelter. And I mean, I've had as many as 4 dogs at one time, so nobody can tell me I don't love them. But yeah, we can't think with our heart up here. We got to think through practical means. And I challenge the people that were here tonight that have a problem with our shelter to be able to come and try to work within the structure that we've set up. There were some good suggestions that came out tonight, but I heard a lot of personality issues, which you're authorized to have them, because I'm sure that a lot of people have them with me, because I have them with a lot of people. But but my point is that if you don't have something to add to the conversation that is positive and constructive, it's best not to say anything. And there were some things that were said that were constructive, but and I'm not defending our animal control officer, but when you pick up the kind of mess that we gave her, and you expect things to be what Henry County is or what Fayetteville is in 1 year.
With the funding that we have.
I think this is an unreasonable expectation. So, I mean, I, as a Board of Commissioner, as a member of the Board of Commissioners, I agree we may need to move our resources around. I remember this gentleman coming and talking to us about trap and release. I thought it was the best thing ever. You know, you can't make cats do what you want to do, but, you know, if they're fixed, they can work. And some of the things that people said were really good suggestions. I think that within the context of the information, a lot of the good stuff was lost because of the personality issues. But I'm grateful for everybody that came. I'm thankful for you coming here and sharing what your concerns are. There's no way for us to know what they are unless you come and tell us. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chair?
No, I agree with Commissioner Flowers Taylor. I love it when the room is full, even when they're here to yell at me. Like, citizen engagement is the whole purpose of our country. Let me tell you a story. I'm a criminal defense attorney, so this is what my mind comes to. I had a young client who had been arrested in Butts County. His dog had a spot on it about like this on its hindquarters, and the wind had knocked his trash can out and spread trash everywhere. So their code enforcement is their animal control. They're just one. So they came over and said, "You got to pick your trash." And you go, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't. Let me pick up my trash." And then they saw this little spot on the dog, and they said, "You got to get that fixed." And he goes, "I get paid next week. I'll take it to the vet." They came back the day he was getting his check, and they said, "You haven't done it yet. You're under arrest." They charged him with felony animal cruelty. That's why he hired me. I went to Butts County to defend him, and the woman who wrote our current felony animal cruelty statute came down and said, "I wrote this. It is the easiest thing to prosecute because if you don't get your dog adequate care, what does that mean? It means whatever I want it to mean, then it's a felony and I can put you in prison for 5 years." Now, I don't think that we should be, my dog's got a spot on him right now, I don't think that we should be prosecuting people to that magnitude. But if you're dumping animals, if you're throwing a cat in a bag, and we need to investigate that. That is a felony. That person needs to be in prison because they're a monster. If you're, putting animals in cages and releasing them on the side of the road, you need to be arrested. That's a felony. That's not a code ordinance. Here's a fine. That's a felony for more than a year in prison. And if we looked at it like that and said this is not okay behavior, the crime dramas are out there. What's the first thing these serial killers do? That kind of stuff. Okay? So let's put them in prison when they hurt the cat instead of waiting until they kill 20 people. But I just look at this and go, "Oh, you're running a puppy mill? Did you get them all their shots and stuff?" "No, and you can't do anything about it because I only have to pay $50 to the state." "Nope, it's a felony per dog. Watch this." What? Really? Watch the animal abuse in Spalding County stop like that. Start charging these people with felonies because that's what it is. That's why they wrote this law. We need to begin enforcing that law. We need to begin prosecuting that law. People need to understand that if you are cruel to animals, okay, our system is designed to put you in prison. And as soon as Spalding County realizes that, Spalding County is not going to have a spay and neuter problem. We're not going to have a stray animal problem. It'll clear up real quick. Okay, let me go on to something nicer. Sorry. Well, I don't know. Let me stay on something bad first. I don't think that we're still there with our collection centers. My quadrant of the county has the aquatic center and the rental park that we've leased from the city of Orchard Hill. And now we only have bulk collections at Aikens for 4 hours a week. Again, the solution that we had discussed was 70%, 75% of the trash is from the two centers. Great. Open those 5 days a week. On the Wednesday when that one's closed, open the other 4 just the one day, and then they're all open on the one day. Hey, every day of the week except for Sunday, everybody's closed on Sunday. The 2 main ones are closed on Wednesday. All the other ones are open on Wednesday. This means we get 6 days of coverage. This means that we're putting all of our resources towards where most of the trash is picked up. And yes, everyone gets to, we're still going to get complaints. Well, it was open 4 days. Now it's only open 1. Yes, but it's still open. We're moving from the center that only gets 8% of the trash, 5% of the trash, to the centers that get 75% of the trash. This makes sense. So I don't think that we're where we need to be with the collection centers. So I think that we should expand that. I want to end on a nicer note though. The Our Legacy Museum is something that all of Spalding County, because we are one county, we are one community, could be proud of. I was excited to be there last Saturday until my wife said, "Hey, we're going camping," and I said, "Yes, ma'am." So I was not there, but I love my wife even more than I love y'all. So, but that is something that we can be proud of and brag about to other communities around us. In fact, I'm working to try to get sort of a group tourist initiative with some of the other counties around that have similar, but not quite as cool things that we have, so that we can kind of joint market them. And I also want to end on kind of a sad note, but a positive note. The mental health situation in Spalding County is tough. Well over half of the folks that come through our criminal justice system, if not 80%, are there because of untreated mental health. Well over 85% of homeless people have untreated mental health issues. This is not something, it's not everyone's bipolar schizophrenic. It's not, oh, I'm depressed sometimes. It's everything in between. And the issue, yes, we need to do more, but just like homelessness, you have to have every step from A to Z. And if you skip G, it falls apart. And unfortunately, little Spalding County, with our limited budget, we just don't have the money to provide A and B and C, and we're just never gonna. We're a small rural county, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try where we can. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't have these initiatives and work where we can. But we have an inordinate amount of homelessness. We have an inordinate amount of mental health issues. And so because of that, we need to work with other counties that already have, D and H and M. And then we can go, okay, well, we can provide B and we can provide, Q. How do we get all 26 letters? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we can work with these veterans and get them off the street. Okay, but ours is only temporary. Where do they go after us? And if we just go, hey, you're done with our program, they're going back to the woods. You know what I'm saying? So we've got to get them into the next step, and then get them into the next step, so it's got to be a holistic approach. Otherwise, we're bailing water out of a boat with a hole in it. You know what I mean? Like it's so. Kudos to those that can work with folks. I had 3 calls with folks with mental health issues today, and unfortunately, the system in general is designed to just run those people over and put them in prison, instead of, hey, you need help. Let's get you some help. Let's make the help your punishment. let's make you be on probation, so someone's watching you, making sure you're taking your medicine. Let's get you with a program. Let's get you with counselors, whatever it is. And I'm also very pleased and honored that we have, again, such a great sheriff who can see that, who understands. But at the same time, we also have a great a district attorney who sees that as a solution and goes, okay, how do we make this happen? So I really think, as far as elected officials go, Spalding County is ripe for making this happen. Again, unless $100 million falls out of the sky, we're not going to get all the letters of the alphabet, but we can make robust responses where we can, and then liaise with the other groups that do have that money. So again, the next 5 to 10 years in Spalding County is just going to be incredible. It's just going to be incredible. The stuff that's now in place, our amazing county managers, it's just absolutely teed us up for just a golden age. So I'm really excited. Honored to be a part of it.
Thank you. Let me cover on the same thing you 3 have said. The legacy thing is important. It's big. It really is something that, if you haven't seen and done Rosenwald and what's that got, how that works, and then the marker itself was just absolutely great. We've done 3 listening sessions. Those of you that haven't had the opportunity to come to one of the listening sessions, we'll have some more of them. It's an opportunity to do exactly what you did tonight with us, to listen, and you all, the citizens of the county, to be able to talk with us. But it is basically a listening session. The 3, one was the start point, and then we had 2 pretty good ones as far as I'm concerned on how to get it going. Not everybody, every county allows everybody to come up and talk. I know a number of counties that when they watch how we do business, they said, I'd never allow that to happen, what you saw tonight. It is, we believe in the citizens, we believe in listening. We may not always agree, but we want to hear. And there are lots of good ideas that have taken place because of citizen comments, and we've had to work them out. The government works slow to be able to do that. For the commissioners, the great county manager and I went last Thursday and Friday to 2 different places to listen to legislators talk about what their priorities are for next year. They'll start in January. We listened to 2 senators in each place and 3 representatives in each place. And it was enlightening to hear what they think the issues are, and then for us to be able to talk to them about what we see the issues are. There is a difference between what we're talking about on a routine basis and what they're talking about. So that was a really good thing for all of us to be able to do. I want to make sure that I mention that we're going to have a vote on in November that has to do with seniors school exemptions. Please pay attention. Please start looking at what that means to you. Take time to understand what the vote is going to be. So everybody knows I'm extremely excited that we're going to be able to have this vote. For truly 15 years I've been working to be able to get that so it is not done by legislators in the General Assembly. It is done by citizens in this county, and come November we will decide what we want for seniors exemptions to schools. It's a big deal to me. I hope everybody takes the time to read and understand and not walk in like sometimes and read the 3 or 4 sentences or 2 or 3 sentences and say, I don't know what that means. Okay, I'm just pushing a button. I want everybody to understand that. All right. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. 4-0. See you all Thursday night.